Do you remember when we first met? Well, I don't, but I remember how wet you get. But I won't disrespect you by dwelling on the physical aspect. Don't roll your eyes, cause we better than that shit. I'm talking about long life, being your boy's wife. A couple youngins running in the backyard. And my lord, you're still looking great, honey. And my God, you still can shake what make money. It's so vivid, can't you picture it? Yeah, well tell me, do you think this ring fits? Word, your love is like the ultimate herb. You got me foot to the ass and the rest to the curb. It's like nothing to do, only for you I kneel and forget the brick. Love is the house we're building, the picket fence with the swing on the tree with the words carved in it saying love is we.
There you are, close enough to touch but still too far, because you're not mine yet. Stimulated by the conversation, mere presence. Other women ask what relation, none of the essence. Oh, who's that? She's a C, but you come first, like the A before the B. When you're gone, I wilt like a willow. Lie there and smell the scent you left on my pillow. A strong mind with the body to match. I won't bite if you promise not to scratch. You keep it real, just like the truth. Closer than twins, standing in the phone booth. Inspirational, treasured like a gift. What's success without someone to share it with? I used to be a dog, now a cool cat chasing cheese. And I blame Eloise.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise.
People everywhere wants to know her name. Her body is the essence and her claim to fame. She's got game, it ain't the same. She's got plenty, packing more good times that you might call a penny. Getting caught up with the thoughts of flying overseas, making all of the cheese, spending time with Eloise. I picture hitting from the back like the snare from the track. I got the knack to be the Macalypse I wanna smack. Candle wax down the spine all of the time. Prophylactic on my tool, let me take you to school. Lesson 1, you don't have to run. And lesson 2, listen to my crew. Passion increases with exchange of saliva. Keep it Fahrenheit and call me Muff Diver. That be me, the K to the ING. My mode is excellent and my dream is Eloise.
A soft whisper. She asked me, do I have the guts to kiss her? But as I sit and wonder, is she real? I picture. So what comes after? Put on Anita's rapture. Her feelings I must capture. Her soft lips. I take them quick and put them in my pocket. Cause they're out of this world like Space Lee and his sprockets. Somebody pitch me quick, I think I'm dreaming. Damn, she got me fiending. Her skin is so soft. It reminds me of the smoothest piece of silk. She's so sweet, her breath smells like carnation milk.
So sweet. Carnation milk. Of all things, I'm your lady. Sweet baby.
Hey, what up, boo? Words out, I'm the diva that you speak about. I hear you smitten about my well-written repertoire. You's a superstar, but it's you that I shine for. We go together like jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. Player haters try to come between us, but never that. E is simply all of that. Rewind that. E is simply all of that. Hoes be jealous, so they fellas wanna frolic. Gems I spit can't be bought, sold, or aborted. You look retarded, trying to go against the gift. Love is shared, the love is multiplied. Put your freaks aside, forget about your weak pride. Run away with me and let's do it on the wild side. Like that.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise, you're on my mind, girl. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise.
Eloise, I wanna know, am I the bro, to get to know ya?
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise, I wanna know, am I the bro, to get to know ya?
Eloise.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Simply E with the MSB, the magical soul.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Man, I don't ever get tired of that song. Shout out to the Magical Soul Brothers, man. MSD. Yo, it's just a good time to be a PV fan. Hold on. Shout out to PV in the building. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to PV versus everybody. And this is Productive People. We're here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. I know we a little bit on CPT time today, but I'm your host, Sed Brass, and we got to get it together. We going to get it together. We going to be all right, as Kendrick Lamar used to say, right? Well, his hit song used to say. I'm here. I'm excited. As always, we in the building, PV in the building. Shout out PV12. Shout out the Section 107. Shout out PV Houston chapter alumni. Shout out Houston National chapter. Shout out Class of 98 alumni group. Class of 99. Yo, HBCU raps. Shout out to everybody out there that makes up PV fandom. I'm excited. I'm your host, Sed Brass, once again. You're here, you're watching Productive People, and this show wouldn't be much without you, and it definitely wouldn't be much without our gracious host, Lionel, of PV versus everybody. After that being said, I'm excited, man. What's up, everybody? I know I'm just one man with one mic, but I have you. I have the chat. I have the PV stream world out there, and then we have our haters watching and lurking in the background. But it's a busy day in these SWAC streets. Let me tell you, it's a busy day in this SWAC street. But we're going to get a little bit of housekeeping out the way because we got a lot to talk about. I had to edit so many things because I had so much on my list. Wednesday to Wednesday, let me tell you, it goes by so fast because when the weekend hit, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, boom. That's 3 days locked out. So really, you only got 4 working days. And there's so much in the news cycle. Let me tell you, just as I get ready to get these announcements going, I was having so much trepidation about this show. I was like, man, maybe I should do the show every 2 weeks. Maybe we should do it like once a month, because is there really a lot of news out there when it comes to like the PV fan world? Let me tell you, man, this actual SWAC verse and HBCU football world is moving at such a rapid pace. I even feel like sometimes the news I report is like old news. It's like 2-3 days old. It is so much information out there. I'm like, man, we got to get it out there, especially from the PV fan world. And I know for y'all that watch every week, I say this every time, but there's always new people I'm hitting up. And this video is not your normal, or this podcast is not your normal podcast to talk about analytics and sports. We got other people on the platform that do it, and they do it really well. We got coaches, we got Lionel, we got Isaiah, we got all the brothers. We got the brothers out there that's going to break it down for you every week. This is a fan show. This is an alumni show. This is a chance for us to rewrite a lot of the narratives that are out there in the actual SWAC verse, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on Instagram, whether it be on Facebook, which where a lot of us old head live, to be honest, whether it be even just word of mouth. And in a lot of cases, whether it be just kind of in your soul and spirit, there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of hate for PV. And this show was spawned out of that. It spawned out of, we're going to reshape our narrative and we're going to go on offense. We're not just going to be on defense, going on podcasts every week, begging to speak on everybody's, platform to get our 5 minutes of fame. We're ill-equipped. Let me poke my chest out a little bit as a PV alumnus. We're ill-equipped sometimes to battle these conversations because we have logic, we have intellect, we have wisdom. So it's kind of tough sometimes when you're dealing with a fan base that's just rabid out there, that has no logical sense. I call them delusional. A lot of the fan base out there, they're delusional. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to wake it up. I feel like I got to do that mission statement every week because this show isn't just about me. I'm just one man with a microphone. This is about you. This is about us. This is about the fan base. That's why I love the integration. That's why I love the integration. That's why I love the comments. That's why I love the ability to even bring you on the show and everybody to bring on. I'm just the host to facilitate it. I didn't ask for it. I just felt like it was a need. Spoke to Lionel and we're like, let's do it. But with that being said, let's get some of these announcements out the way. Oh, we got some good. Hey, I'm getting a little better, y'all. I've been working and practicing. So I'm trying to get better with my links and the sound because, I've been having problems every week in some technical way. So we gonna actually pray that I got it together this week. All right, what we got? We got the Black Foxes Spring Show. The yearly spring show is around the corner. Join us April 19th in the MSC Auditorium for the journey to love as they explore the different emotions alone that comes their way. It starts at 6 p.m. We love the Black Foxes. I love the Black Foxes. Let me tell you, I don't know if they still do this in my day. I know the old heads are all up in here. That was our source of entertainment. Pre-internet. I'm dating myself, right? Pre-internet, you had a date and you wanted to, meet a little something on campus. All you had was the band. Go to the bleachers, watch the band perform, or if you're with your boys, you go out there and you watch the Black Foxes march in or march out. The band was the entertainment. That was the heartbeat of the actual student body. I don't know if it's still like that on campus. I have to talk to some of the young heads when I hit campus, but shout out to the Black Foxes. We got to support them. Support the band as well, the Marching Storm. We've often had, so much to say, but our support is the best voice that we can say. And we're gonna get into that later. Shout out to the class of 98. That's also important. They got a Zoom call. I know you surprised, Donna. Shout out to Donna Glover, class of 98. Thursday, April 16th. Also, they're having a classmate Zoom call. Go to the Facebook page. They got a Facebook page for PV alumni, class of 98 Facebook group. They got a lot of conversations going on in there. Me, myself, let me back up for a second. I just had a birthday yesterday. So me, myself, I'm not part of the 98 group. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I'm in my Jackie Robinson era. I'm just 42. Nah, shout out to my class of 98. Class of 98. Yo, y'all get on the Zoom call. Y'all support. It's some good people that graduated in the class of 98. They got some big things in store. They got the group thread. Shout out to Donna. She's keeping it going. What else we got out there? We got a lot of news. We got PV also. PV Shark Tank. Go check it out. We got PV Shark Tank coming up. PV presents the PVAMU Shark Tank, April 16th. Join us for a day of innovation, insight, and competition featuring Dr. Matthew Knowles, accomplice, entrepreneur, judges, students, finalists. You get the opportunity. You get to pitch your business for $10,000 in prizes. This is actually pretty cool. I like this. This is pretty cool. We had Stedman Graham last week. Man, this is a busy week, y'all. It's a busy week. Some stuff is already passed that I had to delete out the notes. But we got a lot going on. We got a TEDx that's coming up. I talked about that last week. This week, if you're looking for something to do, it is something that you can find, whether it be professionally, whether it be social, whether it be party, whether it be athletic, whether it be about your future, even if it's alumni. There is so much energy on the campus right now. People often kind of focus on athletics, but it's something always popping on PV campus. I couldn't say that in the past in my era. So one of the things I'm just so proud of is our ability to innovate and grow and build and to constantly, pivot and evolve to an ever-changing society. So shout out to the PV Shark Tank. This is cool innovation. And shout out to Matthew Knowles. A lot of people don't know he's a professor on campus. One of the highly sought after classes on entrepreneurship. Slight digression. I'm often in these like collegiate conversations and people are always kind of arguing with me over, is a college degree important? And, entrepreneurship, you don't have to go to college. All a college do is set you up for a job. It just train you how to go work for somebody. That is probably one of the biggest misnomers that's out there. I'll be honest with you. A college environment sets you up for entrepreneurship. Who told that lie? Who told that lie that a college environment doesn't incubate and create your actual new customer base as an entrepreneur? You know, you gotta be a business owner and understand the mechanics of how to run a business. Do you know what an EBITDA is? Do you know how to put up together a performer? Do you know how to put together a business plan? Like, it's nothing that drives me crazy when I see on social media and even a lot of my social conversations about people now debating over the fact that is college degrees even important anymore? That we're at war, and I'm not talking about, military war. We're at a war for intellectualism and education today, and I think we got to get back to that. So, slight digression, but shout out to the Shark Tank and shout out to the innovation and entrepreneurship that the college environment is fostering. We often don't really talk about that when we talk about academics or we talk about institutions of higher learning. What else we got? We also have PV. There we go. We got the save the date for the spring pinning ceremony. PV pinning ceremony, y'all. Mark your calendars. Spring 2026 alumni pinning ceremony is happening on May 7th. Billy D. Nick's Baby Dome. Join us as we honor our newest class of PV alumni. It's almost time to celebrate excellence. That's right, excellence lives here. The alumni pinning ceremony is May 7, 2026. Registration is required. Go check it out, pvamu.edu. I got the QR code, screenshot it, do what you need to do, get there. PV excellence lives here. All right. So many announcements. And shout out to PV alumni. I get now so many emails from people telling me, hey, Sed, put up my flyer. So many people in academics. I know they're not chatting. I know a lot of people in academia, they're kind of hiding, and watching it. And shout out to all the, administrators that's out there. And shout out to y'all that send me the emails like, hey, announce this, put this out there. So keep sending me the love. Keep sending me the flyers. If I'm missing something, definitely hit me on the back end. I'll make sure your information get out there. Also, if you have a business, since we're in actual plugging conversation, if you have a business, shoot it to me. I often highlight Yo HBCU Raps, Dr. Proctor's business on here. But if you have a business and you got a video or a reel, definitely send it my way. I'll put it up for you and put it out there. So PV produces productive people. We're going to keep it productive, right? Slight break. After announcements, and we're going to get right into the guts of the show. Shout out to the Panthers. PV football out there doing some good work in community service. There was a blood video given away of them actually doing marrow services. Let me see if I can find that video. Let's see. We are, there we go. Boom.
Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I donated too much blood, bro. Right here, folks. I need to take a nap, bro.
You got a seat right here, fam.
I just need to take a nap right quick.
I can't even get up, bro. I've been on here for 4 hours, brother. Hey, chill out though, twin. Get up. We here giving blood, brother. Hey, brother. Brother, get up.
14 games at Prairie playing there.
Twin, you hear that?
Whatever you got to do to get us to 14 games.
Is that Coach Jack?
Elite FCS.
Man.
Coach Jack? Coach Jack?
Oh, no.
Whoa. That was crazy, James, bro.
What's down with you, brother?
Bro, I just had a crazy dream, bro.
We tripping, bro. We gotta go get some blood, twin.
Do what?
Get some blood, twin. Let's do it.
All right, bro.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out to PV. Shout out to the Panthers. We in the building. I'm still getting my little thing. I'm still getting my thing together, y'all. Don't mind me. I'm the producer, the editor, sound man, host. All of the above. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm having a good time. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy it's PV football week. I'm happy to be a PV alumni. There is no better. You know, there's a lot of decisions I made in my life, but I always go back to one of the best decisions I ever made was to attend PV straight from South Side of Chicago. What else we got? PV football. Not only are they man, shout out to Coach. He got these boys out there, young men. Let me call them young men. He have these young men out here doing community service on his own. And I know if any of you talk to him online of catching him in the press conference, he's even unaware of a lot of this community service work that the football team is doing because the players are required to do community service. Shout out to the football team at Hempstead. Here's a photo. PV football team visits Hempstead High. PV football student athletes stop by to pour into the students, give them powerful words of encouragement and to motivate as they geared up for the STAR test. How about that? Went out there to motivate the students for the STAR test. We appreciate them for their confidence and inspiration and focus and determination. Shout out to the Panthers. Go Panthers. We love it, man. We love it. Shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to PV Excellence. I mean, Coach is setting these brothers up not only to just be great athletes and great players, but also great humanitarians, just great men and great individuals. I love it. 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 Shout out to PV football. Shout out to Coach T. Jack. Shout out to the entire staff. I think, you know, we haven't seen this in our time before. I can't tell you in my era, you know, I sound truly like an old head, so pardon me as I make a lot of old head references. I can't remember ever going up to Hempstead High. I can't remember, you know, it being community between Hempstead and the university, even Waller for that matter. You know, we would go live, obviously, and have apartments, but, you know, there always seemed to be a divide between the university. Unlike most HBCU cities, there always seemed to be that great divide between the actual cities that surround the university and the university in and of itself. So this is a big feat. Not only are we reshaping how athletics look, we're reshaping how the university fosters relationships with the community at large. And we don't really see that much. We don't see that really often. So I see the bigger picture and I see the bigger play. So little things like this, they might seem small, but I think the impact, they can go a large way, just more than just asking Hempstead to actually support football games, but kind of reshaping how we see the institution being a part of the community. And these small things are what really exist. What else we got? What else we got? We're going to get into the topics, y'all. We're going to get into the topics, but we got to get these things out the way because I think a lot of us, we're at work every day. We kind of peruse social media, but a lot of us aren't really catching a lot of these things that's taking place. Okay, we got to try something new today. So I'm trying something new because I used to always get all messed up with the links. So we're going to try something new today, right? So what else I already did that. I already did the PV athletics. Boom. What else we got? We got, this is a good one. This is a good one. Let's try this. You know, not only do I do a lot of focus on PV, but the SWAC at large, is it important to kind of highlight the SWAC at large. So I want to talk about the fact that there's a major football game that's taking place in the Bahamas. Now, no, it's not a SWAC game, but anytime you have an opportunity to put HBCUs on a larger platform, I think is important to highlight. I think it's important to actually speak about and talk about. Let me see if I got the link up there. There we go. I'm getting a little better at this. PV, we got I said PV. We got the Bahamas, y'all. Morehouse and Kentucky State, Shout out to them. The SWAC football going to the Bahamas. I think it's a big deal, man. I love to that. We have a big alumni. So, I'm petitioning. Maybe we can get PV in the Bahamas next year. We actually had our national, convention, our PV national convention in the Bahamas. We got a lot of PV alumni, and we actually have a portal to the Bahamas. I believe that our band assistant director and our band director have a pipeline to Bahamas as well. So shout out to Morehouse, doing a big thing. Now I don't know how well they're gonna have attendance as in athletics. We know these are highly esteemed institutions, but with that being said, for branding and visibility, I think this goes a long way. So shout out to both of these institutions for their game that they're having. What is it called? The Morehouse versus Kentucky State. They meet at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium in Nassau, November 7th, at the inaugural HBCU Bahamas Classic. Kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's actually going to be showed on HBCU Go. The game is produced by Young Entrepreneur Solutions, founded by Ernest Ruffin, who organized the HBCU Classic in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands. So shout out to this process right here. I think this is important. All right, let's get to some good news. It's nothing like good news, as the text would say. We want to hear the good news. What's the good news? Y'all know I know some of y'all already know what the good news is. It's a first. It's actually a first time ever. What is that, y'all ask? PV Golf. For the first time ever, Prairie View A&M Women's Golf are the 2026 champions. Give it up for your PV Panthers. The Lady Panthers are the 2026. Yo, we are picking up a lot of SWAC championship. You know what? That's what's up. PV Women's Golf taking the first place. We got the cup. We got the chip. Bringing it home. As a golf enthusiast myself, I love to see us excel at golf. We know all the sports that exist out there, but once again, another feather in our cap. I know this is driving people crazy. It's got to. Let me blow this up. Can I blow this up? Boom. All right. I know this is driving people crazy. Knowing that PV is constantly winning these championships, knowing that we out here doing our thing, it's hard out here. But, somebody has to do it. And shout out to the men. From what I hear and understand, we came in third. We got a lot of work to do there, a lot more competition. But shout out to PV Women's Golf. A lot of the women's sports have always excelled at Prairie View. So this isn't really a big surprise to me. And the first year coach, this is his first year at the program. It's not an anomaly. We have first year coaches coming in, doing their thing. Shout out to PV. Shout out to the women's golf team taking a chip. I think a lot of the PV fan world didn't know this one, unless you really just like on the threads on social media. I get it. A lot of us are on Facebook, so I get it. But I still had to get it out there because a lot of us don't really keep up with the news. What else we got? We just came off a high last week. I was going through all the news and I was going through all the stories. We got a new commit. And this is a good time. It's a good time while the news is out there, while the iron's still hot, while we in a portal season. Let's keep it hot. Let's keep it going. We got a new commit, Eddie Page. What's Eddie info? 6'9" forward, strong impact. He I think it's a JUCO, Clayton State Lakers this season. He brings size, he brings toughness, efficiency to the front court. I think I got a video of him too. Let me see if I got it. Got a video of him. Let's bring that up. Mr. Page in the building. Hold on, let me stop that. Boop, 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 boop. Let me do that. Let me bring that up. Let me add this in here. Man, I'm getting better at it. I will say that. I will say that. I'm getting a little bit better. Let's pull him up. Boom. Let's check him out. Eddie Page. I mean, he like roam. I mean, he's 6'9", but he moved like a big man down there. And one. Shout out to Eddie Page. This was his video when he actually hit the portal. We scooped him up real quick. I think this is important. We making strategic moves out here. Strategic moves. Let me clear this out real quick. We out here making big time moves. So shout out to our new commit. Pull it up again. Eddie Page, new to the Panthers. It's gonna be big things coming. I think we got a lot more coming down the pipeline. You right. Nasty. We got a lot coming down the pipeline, y'all. So I'm here to inform the fan base, letting y'all know what's going down. Y'all see the championships. Oftentimes, when y'all see the championships, I'm be honest with y'all. Y'all too late. We got to get on board in the pre-process. We got to get on board, as fans and stay connected, involved. It was too many fans when we made it to the actual SWAC championship. Oh man, we in the SWAC championship. What y'all been missing? We had already engaged, galvanized, connected. Alumni chapter Atlanta then got together. We didn't tailgate. It's a basketball game, have you? We out there tailgating. We at the game. We're chanting. And a lot of alumni, they late Larrys. They just want to find out, like, oh man, we just won such and such. We need y'all. We need the fan base. We need y'all, and the team needs y'all. Y'all don't understand. I'll show some of my videos later from when we were at SWAC Championship. It's kind of funny how we've turned lemon into lemonades. We went from 12 fans to the 12th man, essentially, like at Texas A&M. It is a key component to the games now when you see the fans out there supporting and doing our chants. That the level of energy and takeover by the fan base when we're at this game, trust me, this podcast is only scratching the surface. You got to support the team in all these efforts, right? What else we got? Now we're gonna get a little messy, but we got to. Because we got to keep y'all abreast of what's going on out here, not just from a PV perspective, but you should know what's going on in the SWAC streets, right? It's been a lot of spring football in the air, a lot of spring atmosphere. I'd be remiss. I put the pie image up on the show, and and there was so many double and triple entendres in that, right? I used to love No Limit. Oh, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Hold on. Did somebody just come in? Hold on. Let me. Nah, nobody did. I used to love that song. It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Shout out to Marshall Falk. But I mean, what's going on with these Jags? That's why I was going with it. What's going on with these Jags? Let me pull them up. I know I did a little montage last week on them, and shout out to Falk Media because they keep the fresh content coming. I'm not going to kid you. They keep the fresh content coming. And I'm telling you, I'm not worried about these Jaguars whatsoever. And that's not me, speaking like a hater. Now, let me reduce that down. I don't need to be big. Yeah, I don't need to be big. What's going on? What's going on with them? What's going on with these Jags? Let's pull that up. There's some videos in here. That's cute. And I'm gonna just run through some of these because we ain't gonna waste a lot of time on them. We just want to do a little snapshot. Spring football up, nothing. Like a big nothing burger. Let me stop this. It's a consistent theme. It's a lot of bad tackling. That's something. Watch this. Run that back. And he didn't even hit him really with much force. He didn't even really hit him with much force. We're just talking about like, it's just bad tackling. When you're talking about what's going on over at the Jags, it's not really looking impressive to me, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of missed tackles. It's a lot of bad tackling. I can't remember the brother. I just didn't have time to clip it. One of the brothers that followed the Jags, and I was checking out his stream and seeing if I can get some, like, just some clips and source, but they were over there hyped. Man, the defense was flying around. I give it a 60 to the defense and a 40 to the offense. Huh? Did he see the same thing I saw? I'm saying the defense looked really bad over there. Now, I know this is early and we just talking about the spring, but man, it looked like a lot of work. That looked like a JUCO team. Like, not even JUCO, because they play really well in JUCO. That looked like Division II. They look like a Division II football team. I had some more. So just so you don't take my word for it. That's why I try to get the clips. I try to get the clips and show y'all through the clips because I don't want to be biased. I'm giving my actual, I'm giving my perspective, but I don't want to be biased. I want you to make your own determinations for yourself. So I got another one. Let's see this one here, right? Okay. Cool black and white photos. That's cool. Oh, bad. Okay, look at this. Boom. What? Like, come on. Look, what is this? He's like, first of all, like 15 yards off of him. How are you gonna make a play? That's just easy light work. What? The running back just right up the middle. Right up the middle. Like, the defense, again, y'all make your own determination. The defense looks really bad. Don't let the hype fool you. I got one more, and we're gonna get off Southern. I got one more. What's this one? Oh yeah, this is a YouTube one. This is a YouTube one. Hold on, let me set it up for y'all. The first half of the video is just talking in the actual the conference room. We don't even need to see none of that. We can go right to the guts and just see them with the pads. Somebody said in the chat, I don't see any pads popping. I don't see no pads popping whatsoever. Hold on, can I do that? How'd that look? Man, I'm getting good with this, y'all. I'm getting good. They in trouble. Lazy. Look at that.
Good job, boy.
He talking about good job, boy. What? Soft. Both of them. And he still got 5 yards after the impact. Look at this. What? Woo. You right. Woo. Still in there. Oh, at least he trying to coach. Bad tackling. I'm not, like, y'all can go look at this in y'all own time. Like, this isn't even me editing. This is straight raw off the thing. If y'all can see, I'm playing it straight from off of YouTube. I'm not even playing it. I'm not even editing it. I'm giving it to you straight. It's just straight off the dome. I'm confused. What's going on with the Jags? Somebody they used to like to say this in the thread. PV by 40, but that really looks bad. Now, given it's a spring and it's a lot of time and opportunity to change a lot of this stuff, but I don't know. It's a lot of people out there talking. You know, and speak of people out there talking, I've never used a clip from this one source, but you know, I keep my ears to the street, y'all. I keep my ears to the street so I can come back and tell y'all, right? No shade to this next group of guys. I think they're probably one of the most stand-up groups that's out there. But I still gotta put them on the jumbo screen, right? I gotta put them on the Summer Jam screen. HBCU Nightly News, right? They did a little piece and they was, you know, going down the West. We're gonna go through each schedule and we're going to say what we think each team is going to do in the West. Now, I clipped this up. I didn't even want to play it from the YouTube and, you know, take the risk of it like buffering. So I just want to preempt y'all into the clip. So they started talking about, they got down to PV and they was running down, you know, the winnings of each game. And then they got to Alabama State. This is where we are in the clip, Alabama State.
Ooh.
This is a loss.
Yes, it is.
So Blue said it's a loss.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
HBCU Nightly
I'll
Live.
let y'all cover the SWAC East next week. But yeah, this is a.
Yeah, that's a loss. Oh, on the road too.
That's an L.
What's that? 8-4.
I say my comments. Yep, that's got them at 8-4. That's
no losses in conference, or one loss in conference. Bama State.
One loss in conference. Yep, one loss in conference.
So they got us losing to Alabama State, right? Houseway. Let me pull this down. Houseway. And then that's why I put the pie, right? The pie on Andrew Body. Once again, everybody's drunk off of Andrew Body Kool-Aid. I mean, the laughter and the confidence. Now, I do have an inkling that the other gentleman there that didn't actually say his actual thoughts believe that PV would win that game. Alabama State, even with that game being at Alabama State, I haven't seen or heard anything. Recruitment and their retention has been very quiet over there. Yes, they brought Andrew Body back and they brought back their number one receiver over there. But outside of that, it's going to take a lot more than just Andrew Body. And I'm going to say this, and we don't talk about this enough in, you know, these PV conversations. Andrew Body stays in that Alabama State game. It is nothing that you can tell me that Alabama State would have still won that game. I say this all the time. We actually outpunted our defense in a metaphoric way. That's not literal, but in a metaphoric way. We performed so well that we put Andrew Body out the game. And putting out his game actually put a new quarterback in the game that we didn't prepare for. So we outpunted our defense. And that happened multiple times. I say this all the time. That happened multiple times in the season. That happened in the Alabama State game. That happened in the Jackson State game. Think about the Jackson State game. Same thing. And it also happened in the what? Celebration Bowl. That quarterback would have remained in the game from Alabama State. You're talking about a dog walk. You're talking about a major blowout. Even with the Bingham fumble, right? But it put us in a different position to have to, you know, face a different quarterback. So it wasn't the fact that these quarterbacks were so much better. It's that we prepared so well and game planned so well that we didn't even consider putting the quarterback out for the game. I remember, people forget that. We put Andrew Body out in that actual Alabama State PV game. We also forced a fumble on Andrew Body on that first game too. That is correct. Andrew Body, no matter what uniform he's wearing, has never beat PV. What makes you think he's going to beat PV now. Somebody tell me. You know, our famous, you know, I was gonna say passport. Our famous podcast, you know, hater over there, you know, I think was the originator of a lot of this, you know, Jim Jones Kool-Aid. The Jim Jones Andrew Body Kool-Aid. Andrew Body! That guy. The guy that will go nameless. You know, he created a lot of this hype machine on Andrew Body. I've never been impressed with Andrew Body. Let me say that. I've never been impressed. I don't see what everybody see. Good kid, nice guy, but like fundamentals, and you get him out the actual pocket, you talking about trouble. He's going to throw an interception. He's going to give that ball up. And I still don't think he's 100%. So when you put him in a running position, you put him at stake. I don't get it. I don't see Alabama State doing anything when it comes to PV. I prepare in readiness for this game. And you're talking about this is a game late in the season too. Maybe early in the season, this might be a competitive, you know, game. But later in the season, our ears are pinned back. We smelling blood. We're gonna be in like SWAC championship, you know, preparing for Celebration Bowl zone mode. I can't hit. Shout out to Isaiah. Body got to win something this year, or he gonna go down for the best that never was. Now that's for sure. I'm gonna start reading y'all comments. I know I put them up on the screen, but I'm gonna start reading them out loud. That's for sure right there. Andrew Body will go down as the best that never was. He's not even as good as Glass from Alabama A&M. Now that was a dominant quarterback. I don't get the Andrew Body hype. I get the marketing. I hope they paid, you know, our brother that goes nameless, you know, over there, that spent a lot of his energy and time, you know, talking about and hyping up everybody on Andrew Body. I don't get it. I hope the brother is even in 100% shape by the time he even sees us. And then that actually brings me to another point. Andrew Body didn't even take one snap at the spring game. Neither did the backup guy. So the third string guy played in the spring game, which also gives me a moment for pause. I hope y'all not saving Andrew Body for the first game of the season to be his first time taking contact. I hope he's taking live hits. I hope y'all are getting real assessments on this guy, because it's going to be a lot of sad and disappointed people. And I even hate to say this, and we're gonna get to them too. You know, to Delusional over there, I got Delusional coming back. I got Jay Stank, the smelly place over there in Jackson, Mississippi. Jay Stank, I got them coming out the West. Now, it might be different by the time fall hits and we see something, and once we see pads hitting. But based on what I'm seeing now, based on looking at recruitment, you know, based on who's returning, you know, I'm a Jay Stank hater, but I'm not Delusional. I think they got the East, to be honest with you. And I don't see anything that Alabama State is going to do to improve based on, they had a golden opportunity last season. I'm not really sure. Let me get some of y'all callers in there, because I know y'all might have a lot to say on this one. Let me get some of y'all callers. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'll put the link in the chat. Y'all welcome. Y'all welcome to call in. There we go. Boom. Boom. Y'all welcome to call in if y'all want. Let me know y'all thoughts. I want to hear from y'all, because the PV fan world, you know, we got a different way to kind of look at sports. And that's one of the reasons why we're so hated, because our analysis and our critical thinking skills, you know, a lot of SWAC fans, they struggle with comprehension. I often wonder if they're even college graduates. See, that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a lot of Jay Stank people. You're talking about people that just live in the city. They're loyal Jay Stank fans. and they're on the internet trolling every day. They can't create context. They can't create comprehension. There's no fluidity in their actual arguments. What's going on? Shout out to Alabama State. Their spring didn't look too impressive to me either. I didn't even pull up video for them. But, shout out to HBCU Nightly News or Nightly Live, for the shout out on PV. I get it. They got us losing one game. But it's kind of still hard for people to adjust. I don't even think that's a real assessment. I feel like they got to give it to it's PV. We can't fully give PV credit, right? We can't fully give them credit. So they got to lose to Alabama State. What they're saying essentially is, we're rooting for you to lose against Alabama State, but nothing in your statistical analysis is really saying or showing that you actually think Alabama State is going to win. They're just really saying it's like the Freudian slip. They're just saying they want us to lose. We can't have PV be undefeated in the SWAC on paper, and that's what that was. It's like, that's why you saw them laughing. That's why you saw them laughing. They had to go to they got to lose to Alabama State. What you got, Crooks, for me? Of course, I got the at 3-8. If you ever need to know who my D record, just ask anyone. It's always 3-8. That's funny. Nah, that record over there is so cupcake. They got bigger problems if they go 3-8. To be honest with you, they got bigger problems. Because that schedule they got over there, it is so cupcake. I don't really see them, losing one or two games. What's up? We got NO in here. What's up, NO? What's up?
What's going on, boss? What's going on, boss?
What you got for me? What you got?
What was the score with y'all with Alabama State? What was the score?
It was by 2. I don't remember the actual score. Yep.
So y'all barely beat Alabama State.
No,
we lost Alabama.
No, we lost to Alabama State last year.
Okay, y'all lost to Alabama State without Body, but you beat them with Body.
No.
What's the difference?
We lost to Alabama State. Andrew Body started that game, and he got hurt, and he didn't finish the game, and so technically we lost to Alabama State without Andrew Body.
Okay.
But any game that Andrew Body played and finished in never beat Prairie View in his entire college career. Correct. That's including at Texas Southern.
Texas Southern.
Yep.
Okay.
31-28.
So
31-28 was the score.
So at Texas Southern, we can all say that he was the only thing Texas Southern had.
They had somebody. They had some weapons. They had a good running back over there.
Yeah, good running back. Yeah.
And they had a few decent receivers. I'll be honest with you. Us beating Texas Southern, it all came down to coaching. Our wins against Texas Southern and our losses.
Yeah.
Our wins and our losses. What? Help me out, Lionel. What's not true? So you had any concerns? What's your thoughts? What made you call in?
Because y'all had one good season, and y'all talking like y'all the top dogs.
Qualify what you mean by one good season.
Y'all had one good season.
Prairie View has had more than one good season. We've had winning seasons and been a dominant program since 2008. We've been no less than third in the actual West.
So y'all been above 500 since 2008.
Yes, sir. See, this is what I be talking about. The late Larrys to Prairie View, right? That's why we had to win championships. And in that period, we had 2 championships. But at the end of the day, I think people got to get more engaged with what's going on in SWAC football play, because they think about it. what was it? 3 of the last 5? 3 of the last 5 SWAC championships Prairie View was in. Like, remember, we played Dion. Remember, we played Dion in the SWAC championship. Remember, we played FAMU before that.
I got you. But those years y'all played the SWAC championship, were y'all the best, the top 3 teams in the?
Yes. You don't.
Were y'all the top 2? I'm saying y'all was the top 2 team. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the whole SWAC. Were y'all the top 2 teams?
Yes.
So those years y'all went to the SWAC championship, y'all was better than FAMU when y'all played Jackson.
You said top 2. That year
I said top 2 teams.
Go ahead.
Top 2 teams. I'm talking about in the whole SWAC, because we all know the East been the weaker division. The East been the weaker division. So in the top in the SWAC, the 3 years y'all went, were y'all the top 2 teams in the SWAC?
Yes.
Come on, so the first time y'all played Dion, y'all was better than FAMU.
You said top 2 teams, so we were second. I'm being honest.
So you actually think y'all was better?
Yeah,
so if y'all would have played, no. So if y'all would have played FAMU that year, y'all the first year y'all played Dion, y'all would have beat FAMU. That's what you're telling me?
We could have beat talent wise. Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know, I hate to say this in public platform, but Dooley tanked us that game. We had a dominant team that year. I think a lot was overshadowed because everybody was on the Dion hype. But PV, we had
Dion. I'm not. Listen to me. Dion ain't never outcoached nobody. The reason he won a SWAC those years he was in a SWAC because he had better talent. He never outcoached nobody. The talent he had when he was in the SWAC.
That's your subjective point. But you know, I still got a lot of show to get. So what's your comments on PV? What's your thoughts on PV? What's your thoughts?
I want to see what y'all going. Cause you saying y'all can beat body. I don't think so. I don't think y'all will win in Bama State. I will be there, and I don't think y'all win.
Oh, what's your team? Who's your team?
I'm a SWAC. I'm a SWAC guy. I don't have no team.
Oh, okay, you're a SWAC guy?
I love SWAC. Okay, I love SWAC.
What about Alabama State makes you believe that they're going to beat Prairie View?
I just think they're a better team.
So that's
I tell you what. I tell you what. No, I care less about any one of them. I just think Alabama is better. I think body will beat y'all. I think I helped the body.
I can't see it.
Playing a full game. I tell you what.
Never beat Prairie View, and we have 3 times the amount of talent now than we did when we beat Andrew Body in the past.
Okay, I tell you what.
Right, what are we talking about?
No, listen, boss man. I tell you what. I promise you. If when y'all play Alabama State, and you come on, and y'all lose, do not make no excuses. Just say Alabama State was the better team. And if y'all beat Alabama State, I guarantee you I would donate $100 to your athletic department.
No problem. What's your name?
Listen to me. Yeah, listen to me. This is what you do. Go on my Instagram, send me a message in my DM so I can have it just in case we lose. NOJOATL. That's my Instagram. Go on there and do that. And I'll be looking for you. And if y'all lose, don't come on here making no excuses. All right?
No problem. No,
all right, gotcha. I'm gone, boss. Boss.
Thank you. This is what I love. This is what I love about the SWAC streets, yo. You ask people what makes you think that Alabama State is going to win. Oh, I just think it. Like, man, these people sound like MAGA people sometimes, man. It is no logic. There's no context. There's no statistical data. There's no informed position that they're making. It's just all emotions. I think is I'm rooting against. And I wish people just say that. That's why the platform is called PV versus everybody. It's us against everybody, because whatever it is, we're like Chris. We're like Chris Rock. Everybody hates Chris. I'm gonna put that in the actual soundboard. But I do got this sound for Mr. NO. Womp womp womp. Like everything that he was saying was like based on nothing. Just him rambling on and on. I'm glad we got that on the record. I didn't even ask him to bet. You know what I'm saying? He said he's going to donate $100. Shout out to that. Shout out to the $100 that we just raised. Easy money. I didn't plan on making this like a fundraiser athletic thon, but, you know, we had one impromptu real quick. You know, talk about a brass monkey. It looked like he was on that brass monkey. I ain't gonna even lie. He sounded like he was on that brass monkey. But shout out to the brother, you know, having the courage to come on the platform and come with his emotional. That's right. It was based on emotions, not facts. I don't understand this. What is it about PV that makes people just instinctively like root to hate on us? Oh, I think I have my idea. I have my notions, right? And he sounds like an older gentleman. The old heads are so caught up in the past that they can't get out of that. They can't get out of, you know, the streak in which we lost. They can't get past the era in which a lot of teams dominated us. That pre, you know, that's I call it our slavery era. We've been through Reconstruction. We've been through civil rights. Ours free now. And it's like black folks in the SWAC want to take us back to chattel slavery. And we passed chattel. I know it's in our memory, right? We're still going to be impacted by that because we still have trauma from that. Even PV fans, right? We haven't got not only the proper recourse, you know, for the trauma that was impacted upon us, but we haven't even psychologically been through the healing process. It's been generational hurt that's been passed and passed. So in some aspects, I can't blame the old heads because that's all they know. They can't see past what they actually saw in their era. And so they're locked into PV always being a loser. They always, when I told him since 2008 we've been winning, he was like, I always been SWAC. Now here's another problem, right? And this is to Mr. Campbell's buddy over there, right? A lot of people are new to the SWAC and they just came on when Dion came on. So a lot of them don't even know what they be talking about. They just discovered the SWAC when Dion came out. A lot of us lived through the SWAC. Now I'm not saying that for Mr. Campbell because he loves to tell you how he's from Jackson and his family from Jackson and he went to FAMU, right? That was probably the only smart thing that Mr. Campbell ever did. He was smart enough not to go to Jackson and be from Jackson and his family from Jackson. That's why I think Mr. Campbell's actually a smart guy when it comes to it at the end of the day. He was smart enough to know, I got to get out of J Stank. Ain't nothing here for me. I want a solid education. I want more for myself. So if I ever can give him any credit, I'll give him credit for that. He got up out of Jackson. He saw the forest from the trees. And a lot of people that are local Jackson, they cannot get past what's happening in Jackson. And this is why, you know, to Lionel's point, they're crumbling dynasties. Southern, crumbling dynasty. Grambling, crumbling dynasty. And our newest inductee to the crumbling dynasty is Jay Stank. And I'm going to talk about this, you know, more coming up in the future, right? When, and I say this, capital, bold, italicized, with an underline. When Jay Stank loses this year, you're going to see the cards crumble. The cards are going to fall. The loyalty of the fan base, Because it's already a hole. It's already a sinking ship, right? It's already got small holes in it, right? That they're waiting and hanging on this year. But trust me, you heard it here. When they lose this season, and they're going to lose in the SWAC championship again to PV, is what I call the PV effect. People cannot take losing to PV. J-State can lose to Gremlin every year, and yeah, we're gonna win. Oh yeah, Gremlin, they got the best of us. Oh, Alcorn, they got the best of us. It is something about losing to PV that sends people into mere chaos. And when I tell you the amount of trauma that's going to be inflicted on actual J-State, and the amount of internal fighting and the amount of second guessing and questioning themselves that's going to happen at the results of losing the PV, is going to be masterful to watch. Clip it and pinpoint it right here in this moment in time. I'm here to tell you. I can already see the signs. I can already see the grumblings. Why? Because you have a coach that isn't as vocal. He has a coach that isn't as transparent. You know, you got them already fighting over the schedule, right? Got certain contingency, man, we need more competition. You got certain, nah, let's do whatever we need to do. They're already infighting about coach's decision. They're already infighting about who should and shouldn't start. They're already infighting, about strength of schedule. I'm telling you what's coming down the pipeline. But shout out to that brother Eno. He kind of got me off track, but that's what I want. Anybody's willing to call in at any point in any time. This is an engagement show. I want to engage with y'all. I want to hear from y'all. A lot of this is me talking on my soapbox, but a lot of this is me interacting with the fans, interacting with y'all. This is what, man, it's a lot. The chat is on fire. I don't know what's going on. What Mr. Campbell lying about? What he lying about? What you saying, Mike Dog? Been in the trenches, been watching SWAC football systems. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I don't see Bama State beating Prairie View. Yes, I'm speaking as a fan, but I'm thinking logically as well. All right. Now, while I'm on my rant, people that aren't PV people, hey, we're putting some more of our business out there. But I believe, as a true fan base, you can't hold other people accountable if you can't hold your own accountable. I'm big on that. And so with that being said, that is going to take us into the brass monkey of the day. Thankfully, Mr. Campbell, it's not you again, so don't worry. I know you're nervous over there. It's not you. Brass monkey of the day, y'all.
Brass monkey, chunky, that monkey.
Brass. Let me get myself up in here. Brass monkey of the day. Brass monkey of the day is PV's own alumni, Mr. L. White. That's right. Once again, one of our own. Let me pull up Mr. L. White. I don't have much on his actual credentials other than our local PV thread, alumni thread, right? And that's where a lot of this goes down. They say go down in the DM. That was a song back in the day. It goes down in the PV alumni thread. That's where it goes down. So let me pull this up with y'all. Let me pull this up. Mr. L. White, you are the brass monkey of the day. Why? Because of these comments right here. As you can see right there, Mr. L. White. PV family, I visited the yard recently and spent some time around the MSC. For those that don't know, that's Memorial Student Center. And I'm going to be honest, this is not impressive. We should be putting forward. The concrete around the entrances, walkways, and ramps were heavily stained. And there are visible signs of wear, paint peeling on the building itself. The MSC is one of the most high traffic, high visibility areas we have. Prospective students, parents, visitors, and even us as alumni walk through here every day. First impressions are being made right here. The part that's frustrating is that this isn't a major project. It's just basic upkeep. A thorough power wash and some routine exterior maintenance would have a significant difference almost immediately. Our school is a strong institution with proud history. Our campus should reflect that at every level, especially in the places everyone sees it. Sharing this out of pride, accountability, we all represent PV, and this is something we can and should fix immediately. Now, he goes here and he has this whole montage of, photos that he's taken around the MSC, crack expert journalism here. He's in the alumni thread putting this out, right? Now, let me say this. Where's my comment? Because here's my comment right here. And this speaks to why I made him the brass monkey. Now, this is what I had to say. We love so-called accountability when it's critiquing and relying on others to fix the actual issue. As alumni, there is no accountability without that word self. And the prefix, making it self-accountability. So before we act on impulse to document and let our social media fingers run wild, let's think through the solutions we offer in order to solve said problem. Come on, we can do better than rage baiting social media for clicks at the behest of our institution that we say we take pride. And I put that pride in quotes because he said up here, I'm taking pride. Come on, man. Come on, PV. This is the goofy stuff that I be talking about, in this thread quite often, right? Be solution-based. Be solution-based. It's easy to talk about the problem without bringing forth the solution. Now, if you go back into that, and I might bring it back up, right? It's brothers in there talking about, hey, I got a power wash company, right? Is he commenting on that? Hey, let's get together and let's donate our services, right? Or how can we put some money together to help, some of the cleaning problems that are occurring around campus? Now, he's ill-informed because we just had a pie in the face event by the football team. And I think the Kappas also had a pie Kappa, right? And so it's been Spring Fest, not to make excuses, but understanding context and understanding what's really going on here, right? And so, we're so easy. Let me go back. Let me go back to that, right? We're so easy to talk about a problem, but nobody wants to talk about the solution. That's why I talk about self-accountability. Nobody wants to be self-accountable. As alumni, if you truly take pride in the institution, and I'm sure this is a legitimate concern, right? First thing I'm thinking is, how do we solve this? Now, it's people in the comments here providing all type of resources. Hey, man, you could have put this in an email and sent it to such and such. Matter of fact, this somebody right here, FAMU Pie, the Noops, right? They did a pie Noop. It's all kind of alumni bringing context on here, right? Now, to give this brother some credit, he did ultimately reply to me, right? Some people saying absolutely agree, amen, right? So he replies and says, I agree with the solution matter. That's exactly why I brought it up. The reality is this isn't a one-off issue someone can personally fix within a weekend effort. This is a facilities maintenance item in one of the most visible areas on campus. Raising awareness is part of the accountability, especially when it's something that impacts the university image at a high level. This isn't about clicks. It's about making sure the standard is matching the pride we say we have. Great podcast, by the way. Keep up the great work. When I read this, I was like, oh man, I already got you on the Summer Jam screen. But thanks for the shout out too, by the way. That still doesn't absolve. Like, this is a problem for me. Like, it's everybody wants to be late Larrys and everybody wants to be, crack journalists and being able to critique something. But nobody wants to be a part of the solution. If you so say take pride and you so say are alumni, the first thing you should be thinking about is, how do I solve this? Not, how do I go on social media and air this out? Now, true, it's in a private chat, but with the same amount of vigor and energy you put this well thought out letter and, photography into, you were right there on campus. You could have done the work to explore, how do I find a solution to this? I'm going to always push for us as alumni to move and do better. That's why the slogan is excellence lives here. I don't think this was an excellent way to approach problem solving. And if I could be really messy here, just for a second, when I go to your page, Mr. L. White, let me go to your page. Because I'm just making a point here, right? When I go to your page, what do I see? I see that post. What do I see? Nope. We got L Plumber, right? But the support for PV isn't there. And we got all your threads over here, attacking Prairie View, by the way. I just have a fundamental problem when people like go at Prairie View and they're our own, and it's nothing but critique. Not to say the critiques aren't valid, but I'm saying we got to be not only just productive people, but we have to be excellent in our approach in all aspects of life. I need L White to get equal time. I'm sure he'll have his time, right? I'm just only one person. I am a loyal and, hardcore PV alumnus. I'm not above reproach. I can take critique myself. I think, I believe in the old adage, iron sharpens iron. So we got to continue to sharpen that iron. This is not a overly bad brass monkey of the day, but this was more so of, you're going to stand stead in the greater lesson that I think we all can learn from. As someone who has organized buses, put t-shirts together, done fundraisers, fish fries, all of the things when it comes to PV, trust me, I understand the critique for the thousands of things that come on campus. But there's a way that we got to go about problem solving, and there's a way that we go about solutions. So shout out to you, Mr. L. White.
Brass monkey, that funky monkey. Brass monkey, chunky, that funky monkey.
Brass. That's my favorite part, by the way. The ending part. Shout out to Brass Monkey. Someone was telling me, man, I didn't even know that you calling it the Brass Monkey of the day was a double entendre. Duh, my last name is Sed Brass. Some people are just catching on that the whole Brass Monkey is like a double entendre. Are you drunk? Have you been drinking? But also it's a play on words on my last name. I thought most people would catch that. What else we got? Talking about letting old dogs lie. Talk about letting old dogs lie. What do we got? They just announced SU, who we just was showing their spring football. Week 0, SWAC opener, Legion Field. Now, hold on, let me clear a lot of this stuff off my screen. they're opening up Legion Field. Now, I go back. I remember when the SWAC championships were at Legion Field. Now, I thought FAMU Stadium was trashy. I thought Jackson State Veteran Memorial was trashy. Legion Field, oh my goodness. And that's saying a lot. Because those other two stadiums I just mentioned, they're pretty bad. But here we are. Alabama State and SU, per the SWAC office, will be doing inaugural kickoff for SWAC season in Birmingham at Legion Field. It's going to be live streamed on HBCU Go. All right, look, shout out to SWAC TV. There's no slight to SWAC TV. I like HBCU Go. Their production, their camera quality, their in the field analysis, they got sponsorship and they have more money so they can put together a better production. But I enjoy when the game is aired on HBCU Go. I'm pleasantly surprised. So check out this game. This game, I believe, will be a lot more competitive than folks think. I think, for Southern, catching Alabama State this early in the season it's going to be a good litmus for who and what Southern really is. For Alabama State, we're going to see what the hype train is really going to be. If this game is close, I'm here to tell you, whatever his name was, Mr. N.O., he better get that $100 ready. Because if this game is close for Alabama State, or if Alabama State loses, let me get my camera together because I forgot I don't be doing my angle right. Yeah. And or if Alabama State loses, we got problems. So I'm glad this is how we're gonna start the season off, because this is definitely the Buster Bowl. I think a lot of people are going to overestimate the importance of Alabama State. Remember, you're talking about an Andrew Body that didn't even finish the season last season. I just don't think people really be thinking through the talking points. I get it. It's easy to be a bandwagoner because that's what a lot of SWAC HBCU folks are anyway. One person says something, it's monkey see, monkey do, right? Andrew Body's the great. Okay, well, he said it. Oh, okay, yeah, Andrew Body's great. Oh, PV don't have no fans. Oh, PV don't have no fans, right? Man, Mr. K Ocean, you said Southern by 17. Whoo. If Southern wins this game by 17, you're talking about a two-man race in the SWAC, which I think is going to be anyway. JSU and PV. If Southern beats Alabama State by 17, put the women and children to sleep. With that cupcake schedule that Jackson State got, all you relying on is teams like Alabama State to be competitive. And if they're not competitive, who's stopping Jay Stank? Who's stopping them? What you got, Mr. Campbell? My smartwatch just told me my stress is high because of the fact. Hey, man, take that smartwatch off, man. Take it off, man. You don't need all that technology, man. Pulsating and on your algorithms, man. You gotta go. You gotta free yourself. Get off the grid, man. I don't even want to get those Apple glasses. I don't want to have technology in my brain, and I got the watch, and I got the technology on my watch. It's already bad enough. The phone is in your pocket. You got technology. Next thing you know, you're gonna be a cyborg. Anyway, I digress. Man, I don't see this game. I don't see this game being much of nothing but just a litmus test of really how bad each of these two teams are. you know, again, for those who just came in, I put some of the videos of the defense from Southern over there. It's not looking good. It's not look. They might have Andrew Body looking like, you know, like he Tom Brady out there, or like he Randall Cunningham or something. I don't really know. But speaking of Jay Stank, let's go to Jay Stank. Let's go to Jay Stank. What they got going on? Because you know they had their spring game. Now we didn't get much video clips from them. From what I understand, they had just a regular practice. They had regular practice, stretching, 7-on-7, and then they had an actual then they actually had an actual scrimmage game. So let's pull up. We got Coach here talking about, they did interview Coach TC Taylor here. So let's pull him up and see what he had to talk about. I think this is his comments on their returning now sophomore, freshman from last year quarterback. Let's pull him up.
Just what you said. You know, he's developing. We got to understand, too, he's just a sophomore. You know, he played a lot of football for us. But you talk about the measurables, you know, he's gotten really stronger in the weight room. We got to continue to put weapons around it. You know, when you got that size, that kind of arm strength, that kind of talent, you know, you want the other 10 to be really good on the field for him. He's done things right this spring, though. You know, you see him trying to be a leader. You see him, you know, first one in the weight room, first one in meetings, staying up here at the office with Coach Kirk, you know, trying to learn and get better at the game. But he's going to be pretty good for us this year. I like his development right where he is right now.
He also has some comments about, you know, their defense.
First bit on both sides about offense and defense that may be new.
Starting on the defense, man, those two safeties, Jalen Foster, transferred from Louisiana Monroe, and Swipe Marshall. He's something serious, you know, from Western Kentucky. He can play the game as well. Duke, he had a good day today, another transfer in here. So most of the guys, Michael Gay, he can play linebacker. You know, when you lose Reed Pulliam, Ashton Taylor, those guys have kind of been anchoring that box for so many years. You know, you saw where he's going to come in and fill that gap. So we're very pleased to get him from TSU.
From TSU, right? Again, we didn't really see much. That's all we really got was like their interviews. I saw it looked like a little picnic in the park. You know, I had to laugh. I saw somebody online talking about, man, they couldn't afford to rent out their own stadium. So they pretty much just did it at that practice field. So they had it at the Walter Payton practice field over there. What's up, Lionel? Oh, he hopped off. Lionel was coming in. I actually like TC, just not the fans. Yeah, I think it's, you know, I talked about it last week. It's just the same old soup. Same old soup. I think Jay Stank will be just above everybody else. And everybody think I'm going to be crazy for saying this. You got PV, then you got Jay Stank, and then there's everybody else vying for third place. That's really, you know, where we at. If FAMU, I would have put in that second tier, and the coach is going to do a good job of probably keeping them together. We'll talk about FAMU later. I have my notes on them, but I don't really see. What's up, Mr. Lionel? How's it going?
What's going on?
Man,
I said so.
What'd you say?
I said so. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Yeah, I seen you going in in the chat. We just here right now. I'm on the part going through different spring camps. You know, we went through the Southern and what they got going on with Alabama State. Obviously, you was just hearing the caller call in saying that he believes Alabama State is going to beat us, and he put up $100. He put up $100.
Yeah, that's going to be good to see his name in the annual report. You know, supporting the PV. You know, excellent football, excellence fund. I've listened. You know, honestly, we probably could double what we were able to give last year just off of getting people to give their $100 toward thinking Alabama State is going to do anything this year. I just want to remind everybody, this is the same Alabama State who also upgraded at the quarterback position, beat Jackson State the year before. I want to remind everybody that, right? They beat Jackson State, but then they couldn't get it done with Andrew Body. So why are we acting like just because Alabama State, they lost by 2 yards, that means that this year they're going to be a give of the hump? They are a perpetual hump bumper. Okay, like they haven't got over humps in years, right? Like at some point, you got to believe. Listen, if the man has beat you over and over again and then brings you flowers, he's an abuser. Like that's who he is. He's showing you who he is. And listen, Alabama State is not a championship program. How many times has Eddie Robb? Listen, now it's good for Alabama State because Alabama State ain't really been there really, what I'm saying, in years. So Alabama State is not a championship program. They're not gonna get there. Them finishing second is what they do. Them almost making it is what they do. That's what Alabama State is a close call. That's what they are. Okay, they're a close call. That's what Alabama State is. You know what I'm saying? Like they almost, like Alabama State is horseshoes and hand grenades. That's exactly what they are. Almost horseshoes and hand grenades. All right. So we got to stop believing in Alabama State. At some point, I told y'all 2 years ago they would draft night Caitlin Clark, okay? Meaning they got all the hype, all right? But the reality is they really not like that. And the truth is, not only are they not like that, they're not even gonna finish second in the East this year. They're not even gonna finish second in the East this year. I just dropped my way too early SWAC divisional rankings, you know what I'm saying, for this year. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, Alabama State's not even gonna finish second this year. So all this talk about halfway through the season is going to be all died down, because even though people got to remember that defense was not like that. We asked the question of, is it really Eddie Robb's defense or was it Ryan's defense? And last year it looks like it was Ryan's defense, right? There's no guarantee that they're going to get back up to the level that they were the 2 years before. And there's also no guarantee that this offense is going to look like what it looked like last year, losing the receiving core that it lost. So, it's all way to be seen. And the fact that, listen, Andrew Body played great last year. Smoot also played great last year. But the fact that both of them boys haven't thrown a pass, have not thrown a pass all spring, that is that should be very concerning. Now, good thing they got a lot of time. Hopefully in the summer, they able to pick up a ball and start moving around. But, I mean, that's something that got to be questioned right there, right? So at the end of the day, now somebody from Alabama State that's gonna put in work is Jabari Kirkendall. Now, but he don't play for Alabama State no more, so that don't matter to them, okay? But I'm just saying, hey, I just wanted to say that on the Alabama State front. That's all.
Man, what's your thoughts on that, on the Blue Bloods? Zach, saying that Prairie View is gonna lose to Alabama State. What's your thoughts on that?
I just, it's par for the course. It doesn't neither here nor there, right? It's expected, right? And at the end of the day, for a lot of people in general, a lot of people just don't necessarily see teams just going through the SWAC unscathed. I just think that's also a thing. You see how Grambling has gotten Jackson State even the last few years when people looked at Jackson as a team that was going to go through the SWAC unscathed. So that is a thing, right? So it doesn't technically, because even if it looked as if, I think that Prairie View is going to win all 8 games, for example, there'll still be people say, man, you know what?
Did he go out?
So I get that, right? So for me, it's like, it's fine. Is it gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. But it's not something that it's not something that I'm up in arms at. Either, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. Like I said, no shade. I just thought it was interesting. I was perusing, seeing what everybody was thinking the schedules were going to come out to be. And I was like, yeah, they're right on this, they're right on that, they're right on that. And when they got to Alabama State, not only was Alabama State the pick, the level of confidence and laughter I thought was interesting. Now I will say, like I said, I think the third guy who didn't say his opinion, I actually think he thinks Prairie View is going to win that game, but just didn't voice his opinion for the sake that he was outvoted by the other two, podcast members. But I really would like to know that they didn't rank high in recruiting class. So who and what are they having? PV is in the top of recruiting class. What are we, 5th? No, 10th? What's our number in FCS recruitment? Oh, Lionel left. You still there, Lionel?
Here, you can't hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I said 5th. Is
right?
what the Blue Bloods had us listed at, FCS transfer classes. So yeah, I mean it's fine. Again, I think the nod is going to be given when you have a dynamic player. People look at Andrew Body and say he's a dynamic player. So the nod is always going to be given, especially somebody in the quarterback position. Then that nod is always going to be there, And I think that's the reality, right? When you look at two teams, because at the end of the day, when I saw it, I don't think they necessarily was a disrespectful thing or like almost like pass out like, I mean, yeah, of course, State, what I mean? At the end, I mean, and obviously Herb is an Alabama State guy, so that already is par for the course. So, it just is what it is, right? You're going to give a nod to the dynamic player, right, over a team, especially when for many people to say, well, who's going to replace Cam, right? Is Tevin Carter going to be that guy at quarterback to elevate his game, et cetera, et cetera? How is the defense going to look this year after having such an awesome pass defense last year? So, to me, it's like I say, it is what it is, right? Because you feel like, well, they've seen Body a couple years, so I know what he's going to be and what he's going to bring. I got to wait to see what it is going to be in year 2, right? But also, when you look at some of the other thoughts about this SFA game and a game against Tarleton, right? And again, if anybody picks Tarleton to SFA, obviously they're wrong too. But I mean, listen, you gotta respect it, right? Them ain't no slouch programs, right? They top 15 programs for a reason. So anybody that picked SFA, cool. They got zero problems with that. That's a top 15 program. Pick Tarleton, cool, no problem. That's a top 10 FCS program. So it don't make no difference. Now we're still gonna go in and we're gonna handle business. But the point is, right, just like last year where people say, oh, you gotta do this thing to earn respect. I understand, especially with them two programs, you got to win the game and earn the respect, right? And then the whole conversation changes. But, the Body thing with Alabama State, again, Alabama State is a perennial hump bumper, okay? That's what they are, right? They don't get over humps. That's not what they do, okay? So even if Alabama State somehow found a way to beat Prairie View, they still not going to the championship game, and they still not winning the championship because Alabama State don't win championships. And with all that Andrew Body has done in his career, he don't win championships either. Him and Eddie Robb are a perfect combination because they both don't win championships and they both don't get over humps. Not the PV hump, not the championship hump. That just is what it is. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah, I put up on the screen. Zach's in the comment. He's saying SFA and ASU are toss-up games for PV. So it's a 10-2 ceiling and an 8-4 floor. I think that's a fair assessment, April, based on
that. I agree. I definitely agree. I think that's facts. You know what I'm saying? I think both of them, and SFA game really is going to be a great game because it's 4 games into the season, right? So that one even more than the Tarleton game is going to be like, yeah, that's going to be a great game and a great opportunity for us to get a big premier win that will elevate us into that elite conversation and status, right? The Tarleton game is just so hard because it is game 1, even though they got a lot of transfers too, right? But listen, you talk about the Blue Bloods list and us being listed 5. Listen, Tarleton, everything we talking about, they got 2 boys. Cornerbacks, 2 guys on the list. Quarterbacks, 2 guys, and almost got the guy from Western Carolina. Like, what we doing, okay? So Tarleton is definitely like that, but I love it. I love having that competition in that game, start of the season, man, because that's what we want to be. We want to be in that type of elite status, man.
Nah, man, I do think it's early. A lot of us are just fans, and we're excited. I'm excited, so I'm not really worked up. I'm a little disappointed more than anything and not really seeing high level competition and great organization and great coaching. That's what I'm most disappointed in as I look around these kind of HBCU and SWAC streets. Hopefully we can get it together. Speaking of these SWAC streets, they just announced at Alabama A&M, Quad Brown, he coming back for 8th season. 8th season. What are we talking about? 8th season. I don't even want to mention that shellacking we put on them last season because that was just nasty work. Sometimes it's just so nasty you don't even got to mention it. HBCU quarterback prepared for his 8th season after being granted eligibility. What do we got, right? Alabama A&M Cornelius Quad Brown is back on the practice field. Now, this article was before their spring game. So we saw him at the spring game. I didn't even bother putting up their video on the spring game. The veteran signal caller will suit up for the Bulldogs this fall in what will be a remarkable 8th season of college football. I don't know what's going to be remarkable about Alabama A&M, but we shall see. Brown was recently granted a medical red shirt by the NCAA. He posted on his Instagram page, clearing the way for another year at Alabama A&M. He returned to spring practice this past week and expected to play in the team's spring game, which that passed last Saturday, and he did play in that game. Last season is his 7th collegiate year. Brown threw for more than 1,060 yards and accounted for 10 total touchdowns before suffering an injury that cut his career short. Now fully healthy, he's once again primed to lead the Bulldogs in an offense headed into 2026 season. And here's his page. Approved. Let me stop sharing that. Hold on. Is that sharing too? Let's see. Stop sharing that. Hold on. I ain't sharing this page. Hold on. Well, let me add that in there. Let me add it in here, y'all. I'm glad I got this figured out, Lionel. I'm glad I finally got this these links figured out. Finding my groove. That's his Instagram page. It's music, so I just left it.
Like I say, I told you I don't have Alabama State finishing first in the East. I don't have them finishing second. I actually got them third, man. And the reason I got them third is I believe in Sam Shade, even though, listen, it's a lot of shade over there. They may need to come to the light a little bit more, right? You know what I'm saying? With some of the content and stuff. But, I think him coming back is great for Alabama A&M. I mean, offensively, they were really rolling with him, right? You know what I mean? And he did some good things last year. I think if their defense can be a little bit better, you know what I mean? Well, not a little bit better, even a lot bit better, right? You know what I'm saying? But I think if that defense, can improve, that's going to help them a lot. A lot of turmoil, a lot of things going on over there on the east side. And so, if they can clip a FAMU, if they can, find a way to beat Alabama State, well, which again, last year looked like a game earlier on, right? It looked like it was going to be a high scoring game, especially early in the season when you had Quad Brown putting up the numbers. So I got them beating Alabama State this year. So I actually got Alabama A&M finishing second in the East. In my way too early picks.
Wow. That's an interesting take. As we keep going down the notes, we never talk about, I think Alcorn falls under the radar, but our other nemesis fall under the radar as well. We're talking about Dish Rag, Coach Dish Rag. What's your thoughts over there? You heard they got a new DC over at Texas Southern.
DC, PC, Fairview by 43. Okay, that don't matter. Okay, Texas Southern, man, to lose KJ Cooper and to really not get out of him what I feel like they could. I feel like Coach Buckner was able to put Cam in a great position to make him toward the end of the year to be so comfortable that you start to see him shine to the best of his abilities, right? It's like we really start to get everything out of him that he had, right? I don't think the same thing was done with Chris Dishman and KJ Cooper. And to lose him to USF, right, is hard, man. And so to get Cameron McCoy now, they're gonna lean all the way into this running game, which I think Southern should have kept him with this go-go offense that they installing, right? You know, to me, it's like, man, you might as well have stayed there. I just don't see them doing much again offensively. You know, defensively, they lost some pieces, so I don't think they're gonna have a great year this year. I do like Alcorn though. I got them finishing second in the West.
That's an interesting take. Yeah, TSU. I got it up on the screen. They hired Lifer as Texas Southern Tabs football lifer as new defensive coordinator. Fresh off the first winning since 2000, TSU hired defensive coordinator Scott Bestall, longtime coach with extensive Texas ties. Scott Bestall is the new defensive coordinator back in January. So they've been keeping this on the low. And that's how Dish Rag move over there, right? It's not hard to be moving silence over there because nobody's really knocking down their door for like news stories. But you know, Bestall is a longtime defensive coach with extensive ties in Lone Star State, the Texas native and Texas A&M graduate. Most recently coached at Texas State, but he also served as a linebackers coach and recruiting coordinator at Rice, the tight ends coach and recruiting coordinator at Texas A&M Commerce, defensive qualities coach at Texas, and a graduate assistant at North Texas at SMU. So, with an extensive experience, Bestall has worked with his fair share of elite coaches. He says Texas Southern coach Chris Dishrag has made a good first impression as any. Dishrag is a long Pro Bowl cornerback for the Houston Oilers. Yeah, we know all of that already, right? So, yeah, they got a new DC over there. Will this make a difference? We'll see. It remains to be seen. I actually got a video. I got a video of him speaking as well. Let me pull that up real quick. Let me pull that up. Pull that up. I'm so proud of myself. I'm getting so much better at this. Now, it was so funny about their spring game. Their spring game, the most Dishman was talking about was the kicker. And remember, we were always talking about, man, we kind of secretly like, man, we needed that kicker. But they had a really good kicker over there. So I'm not surprised that they got good reports coming out of their spring game about how great their field goal kicker is. Let me I got Scott Bestall on the screen. So here he is. He actually took an interview at the spring game. Here he is.
Scott, and you're the new defensive coordinator for the Texas Southern Tigers, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk about coming on over to the Tigers. What was it about bringing your talents and your knowledge of the game here?
To be honest, it was Coach Dishman. He reached out, and he's a guy that I've known for quite a while, for about a decade. And when he called and offered me the opportunity, it was just one I couldn't pass up, especially being in Houston and me coming back to Houston since the first time since Rice.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know coming in was just how good the coaching staff that was here, that was already in place defensively, and how high the character of the team. And that's what's going to help carry us to victory this next fall.
But good.
Yeah, we don't have to go deep into that. I just wanted to show y'all the new defensive coordinator. We got Lionel back in here. So I just played the video of him at the spring game. It was all good. It's all good. Texas Southern.
Yeah, my bad.
New defense.
Go ahead.
It's all good. I'm just getting, we ain't even got the PV news yet. I'm just, it's so much going on. I'm kind of in rapid fire because there's so much, to talk about. And to be fair, we gotta update the people on what's going on out here in these SWAC streets. So that's all.
I wonder if Coach Dishman got any dogs over there this year.
You got any what? Dogs, you said?
Yeah, I wonder if he got any dogs over there this year.
The kicker. I already said that.
The kicker that should not be named. That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh man. Hey, listen. If the kicker is the highlight of your spring game, man. Listen, you're in trouble. That's all I'm saying. You're in trouble. And by the way, the kicker is on their radar because he was on our radar. Let's just be clear, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's just be straight. The kicker is there because he was on our radar, and then they picked him up because he realized he was going to come in the number 4 kicking spot. So that's just the facts.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, Isaiah said in the thread they don't refer to their players as a dog. You asked the question.
Yeah, I know. That's why I made the statement. I said I wonder if you got some dogs over there, because he ain't gonna win. He ain't gonna win with those young men, those student athletes. You know what I'm saying? That he has.
Yeah. What was up with that? All of that microaggression that he was displaying. I know there's probably a lot of backstory to that we don't even know that's offline, but it was. It's one thing to have a rivalry, and it's another thing to be confident about your team. This is a whole nother thing to just be utterly disrespectful, in a press conference. I thought that was really tacky of Dishman. His whole little dry, I'm just a lowly man, pseudo, spirituality thing going on. And it's fine. It leaves a lot to be desired. But the only time you see him kind of like fired up and showing any type of like aggression was going at Coach Jackson. I thought that was odd and weird. The man never said or did anything to you when you have this kind of like odd, like kind of weird. We're all black men out here in these SWAC and HBCU streets. You would almost think that there was something said or done. I get it. Your boy lost his job to him, but it's like a weird like disloyalty or something. I don't understand that.
I mean, it's fake outrage, right? Because Bubba's isn't there. He gonna miss his friend Bubba. Of course, I will miss my friend too if my friend had my team laid down for my coaching debut. Yeah, correct. For sure. I would miss him too. But in that game, they showed resiliency and fight, man, and get over that game and win that game. Obviously, remember, I mean, that was one of the great games of last season, right? The highest rated, highest watched SWAC TV game of the year last year. Yep. So, TSU came and they came ready to play. Really, I mean, we talked about the four interception game against Alabama State, where people don't remember, we were up 21-7 in that game. Like, and that 21 points in the first quarter. Like, let's be clear. Yep. They never stopped us. We moved the ball up and down the field on Alabama State's defense. But again, we lost the game because we turned the ball over 4 times. And the same thing with that TSU game. I mean, we had 150 penalty yards. I mean, that just is what it is. That game is not even close if we do what we do later on in the year, which is to not be a highly penalized team, right? You know what I'm saying? And so regardless of, people feeling some calls questionable, whatever, it doesn't matter. You got 150 penalty yards. But listen, we outgained them even with the 150 penalty yards. So that just lets you know we're moving the ball up and down the field as well, you know what I'm saying, even in that game. So, so yeah, man, it's, I don't think this year is going to be even close with TSU. I don't even think they're going to pinch us, as they say, right? So, but I'm excited, man, to kind of, see, this year was definitely, to me, really, really quiet when you talk about these spring games and everything that's going on. There just wasn't a lot of, people not excited, I guess, about what they got, man, on campus, because you're not hearing a lot about it,
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it. I think I got sent the clip. I'm trying to pull it up. Uh-oh. Man, the SWAC world be moving fast. Hold on. I actually got the clip that I just was referencing. Shout out to Isaiah, man. Isaiah be having the clips on lock, man. Good gravy.
Hey, listen, 107 Pat the president. You know what I'm saying? Himself.
He be having the clips. We're going to play the clip for y'all. We got it right here. We got it right here. Shout out to technology. Technology. Here we go. I'm playing for y'all.
Did what we did last year. Mr. Jackson is coming in from, wherever he's coming in from. And, it's good that they got am I going to miss my boy Bub? Yes, I'm going to miss Bubba. I'm going to miss competing and miss Coach down. So we got to see what Mr. Jackson had for it.
Coach, thank you. Hey, listen, that music is hilarious. That is so funny.
Oh man. Yeah, shout out to Isaiah for that one. We needed that. We needed that comedy relief right there. And the Mr. Jackson, right? He won't even refuse to call him coach. Those were like classic microaggressions that I don't know if he thought he was going to trigger coach in some type of way. That's often the time, that happens in corporate America sometimes. That's what Karens do to not only just black women, but black men in the workplace. That's what that was giving. That was giving that kind of Karen type energy. You don't expect to see that from like football coaches, like deploying like these kind of microaggressions, to be honest.
Elvin say real sassy on them SWAC conference calls. Y'all look crazy.
Mad sassy. But don't let me get down my rabbit hole, because, we're in a crisis with black men today and how we kind of represent. And that's one of the things I like about Coach Jack. And you've heard me say this before. He represents the brand of manhood, masculinity, coaching, speaking that a lot of us, Gen Xers come from. And to be able to come and not have this kind of silent generation that mumbles through their words, and that's no disrespect to a lot of the other coaches out there, but they're not very verbose.
That's a good point. I never even considered or thought about it like that, but yeah, you make a really good point there.
Yeah, no, think about it. Most of those coaches, they're not well spoken. They're not magnanimous in their presence and actually how they actually speak. And that's, I say this too. I need to start writing down all of my tree of issues, right? That's what people are really mad at. Some of it is PV, but a lot of it is the optics. They wish they had a vocal coach. That's what really Jay Stank is mad about. They're looking at their situation as like, hey, we got kind of a quiet, passive, kind of not as in the public eye, reserved, coach. And then you got PV over here talking. You got a coach singing. You got a coach on everybody's podcast, right? It's like crazy. Our coach is willing to go on anybody's podcast and talk to anybody about SWAC football. You can't catch these other coaches out here. Some of these, podcasts, they can't get their own coach to come on the podcast. Nobody on their own football staff, but they got diehard fans and they got diehard alumni in their podcast, and their coach ain't out there. So I think a lot of it is kind of like envy. And I don't mean that in a, I want to be you, because that's what they're going to say. Oh, we're Jay Stank. We would never want to be Preview. But they do want the sauce. They want that PV sauce that we have, that new sauce, and the way that we represent and the way that our coach shows up. It is nothing that they can tell me, especially coming from a Dion era, right? You just had, the Ferrari, right? You had the very, magnanimous Coach Prime. And then you go to like tone deaf. You go to a quiet, not very public spoken, type of coach. And I think that's a real big issue with why, a lot of Jay State fans wish us, because they wish they had a coach that matched the level of, their tenacity verbally and on social media.
Yeah, and we talked about that too, right? About how really TJAC kind of really embodies Prairie View alum and how we really feel and how we really are and we operate. So, it's interesting when you have a coach that kind of matches, the university and the culture of the university. And I think you've had coaches throughout the years that have gone through different SWAC schools that have done that, and you see the beautiful marriage that happens when that is the reality. And so I think right now we're in a period of time where we're now, as I call it, the golden age that we've entered into, that we're now experiencing that here at PVMU. And I'm sure you already said it, you know what I mean, and probably mentioned earlier in the show. Women's golf just won the championship
No doubt.
today for the golf.
Yep.
And so now when we add softball, you know, unbeknownst to Mr. Campbell, right? But when we add softball, man, that'll be 5 championships this year, you know, on the hill. And really, I think he's brought the mindset not just to the fan base, but also I feel like also to the entire athletic department, right? You know, to have that mindset of finishing the fight, that mindset of, no, we're going to go and we're going to be elite, right? We're going to win championships, you know? So I feel like we're championship you right now, you know what I'm saying? We're Prairie View, but we also championship you. And yeah, Coach T-Jack, I think, embodies a lot of those things, man, with who he is. And even you saw that's why people felt the way when even the football, think about it, because when I saw the graphic earlier, I was thinking like, man, who made this graphic? Because, I mean, I thought it was dope, but that wouldn't seem like it would even be something that the football media team would put together. But the fact that the football media team put it together and dropped it, and I'm speaking of that list of showing T-Jack as the percentage of winning that he has, right? It's not about the amount of games, right? It's about the percentage of wins. That was what it was about, of not just coaches in the SWAC, but also coaches in the entire state of Texas at different schools, and show that his winning percentage is, you know, at 75% win percentage, man. And like he talked about on our interview earlier this week, you know, you got to be at 60% to get into the College Football Hall of Fame. And that's his goal, right? His goal is to be in that, you know, amongst those great coaches. And so again, right, to me, it's just showing how across the board, man, the mindset is changing, the thought process is changing. Because again, to me, the fact that even the media team, for example, drops a graphic like that, you know, I mean, it just shows like we're thinking and we're operating differently right now. And I love it, man. I super love it, man. And I love what we got going on. And I'm about to get ready to jump off here or whatever. But man, I love the show, man. Sed, obviously, every week, I think you're just adding so much, right, to take care of those narratives out there that, you know, people have and they're spewing. And I just want to let everybody know, man, you know, Mr. Brass Monkey himself, I said so. Of course, your boy Lionel, PB versus everybody, you know what I'm saying, class of 2009, you know what I mean, Coach Heish, got Mr. Mickens, right, in the building. Hey, this Friday, the spring game, we got some special stuff, man, we're going to be doing. You know, we really got some special stuff we got planned and brewed up. Going to be doing pregame show out there we're going to put together. We're going to drop some stuff real special for PV Nation. So be on the lookout for those things, man. You know, Mr. Bowers, I see him in the comments too. We're going to be talking with some of the players, parents, man. We're going to be talking to, you know, AD Golf. We're going to be having an interview with Dr. Nickelberry. I know we got an announcement coming soon. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the PV football page drop that. So we got a lot of stuff we're going to be doing at the spring game on this Friday in the next couple of days. So again, if you have not done so already, man, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, man. Guys want to support in any way, reach out to me, reach out to Sed, man, because we got some things brewing that we're putting together. And of course, you know, it definitely takes a team, right? You know what I mean? We can't do it on our own, but I know it's something that PV Nation deserves, right? It's something that we truly deserve to be able to show our stories, be able to tell our narrative, man, to be able to put out our product. And so that's what we're going to be doing, man, on this Friday. And so if you're here in the area, man, make it out. Come on out, man. It's going to be a great day. Got softball girls putting in that work. You got to get there early because they're going to run rules some people. All right. Yep. They're going to run rules some Braves. So you might want to get there early or you're going to miss the action. So make sure you come out for that. And then it's at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And then the spring game at 6 o'clock, man. And of course, you catch us, man. Come show some love. You know what I'm saying? So we want to talk to you guys too. Talk to the fans as well.
No doubt, man. No doubt. That takes me right into my next segment. I was going to talk about spring football, and Lionel just segued y'all in. If you didn't hear him, spring football is Friday. Y'all come out, y'all support. We're gonna be doing some big things. We're gonna be recording and we're gonna be showing y'all all the behind the scenes and giving fan input and a lot of guest speakers. I'm not gonna repeat what he just said, but if you didn't hear him clearly, spring football is here, y'all. I'm gonna roll the clip and then we're gonna get into PV spring ball. We got all the others out the way. We're gonna get into PV spring football real quick. So real quick, I'm not gonna play this whole video, but just to get a little breather for everybody. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Bow, grabbing on my shirt.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You guys want to be football players? Well, we do things a little bit differently around here, man. First of all, I'm going to start by introducing myself. I'm Coach Heckerman.
How y'all guys doing, Coach Jackson?
I'm Coach P, O-line.
Coach Bynum, strength and conditioning. All right, guys, so the way we do things here is we will be perfect in every aspect of the game. If you drop a pass, you OTF. If you miss a block, you OTF. If you make any mistake of any kind, you OTF. What is OTF, you might ask? It's on the face, you're crawling on your elbows and knees. Where's my quarterback at?
Right here, Coach.
Get up here, man. Give me desire. That's bad news. He don't know desire. OTF. Green 42, man.
Green 42, green 42. Ready?
Keep it locked out. Keep it smooth. Ready.
What was that? All right, fellas.
All right, I'm back. I ain't gonna show the whole video, but I just gonna give y'all a little taste of PV football crew. PV football. It's spring football season, y'all. Hold on. That's what's up. We in PV football season, y'all. We in spring football. We in the height of spring football time. And we ready. Hold on. We got some stuff we want to talk about. It's spring football week, y'all. Some of the stuff is already passed. But it don't matter. It don't matter because we got a lot to come when it comes to the spring football week. Let me pull it up for y'all. It's spring football week. We got it there. The 13th through the 17th. So we've already had 3 of those days pass. The 13th, 14th was yesterday, and today is the 15th. Shout out to the 14th. This is my birthday. That's right. Shout out to everybody who showed me love. I got overwhelming messages on the 14th. I'll be in town still celebrating all week in PV fashion. What better way to celebrate your birthday than PV spring football? As most of y'all seen, I won't show the clips because this show's been running on long today. Pie player. Y'all want some good laughs? Go on PV football. They pied all the players. They've even got a good video of pieing Coach Jackson. He said he wasn't a $5 face. So somebody paid $50 to pie Coach Jackson, which was interesting. As y'all saw earlier, the team actually did the stem cell drive at MSC and donated to the National Marrow donor program. I showed the video from that earlier. Today was open practice. That's what the video I just showed was really just a sizzle reel to promote the fact that it's open practice and how you have regular people want to be a part of the team. Coach just said no videos. Don't shoot any videos, but it's open practice for everybody to come out. You know, I talked earlier about how the culture was always watching the band. We never went to football practice. It was no way to really watch football, but it was so interesting. We would love to just sit back and watch the band, and the culture on campus was always to meet up with girls or go on campus and watch the band play. So it's interesting now that the culture is now to watch open practices for the football team. That's how much the culture has changed. So shout out to the various ways in which Coach Jackson is changing the culture. Then we have tomorrow, right? The Baby Dome party. Old school Baby Dome party. And again, as your resident old head, I remember a Baby Dome party. We lived for a good PV Baby Dome party. You walk to PV Groceries. You get you a Blue Bull. First, you shotgun you a Boone's Farm. We would shotgun us a Boone Farm, and then we would sip on a 40 of Blue Bull. And I ain't talking about Red Bull. And then you head to the Baby Dome lit. And so shout out to the 90s party. I'm fortunate enough to be in a real live 90s parties in the Baby Dome. Shout out to Zippy's. 90s parties at Zippy's. Shout out to the fairgrounds. Classic 90s parties at the fairgrounds. But they're going to be reliving a 90s moment. I'm sure everybody's going to be dressed really well, even though this is more so 80s attire. It's not really 90s attire, but I'm not being overly critical. Dope flyer. Thursday, 90s party. It's only for students. DJ Superstar, DJ Be Nice. Again, alumni, old heads. This is not for us. This is for students only. You see the Cash App. Coach was talking about how pre-sales is going crazy. It is a student-led, or it's a student-driven, but football team-led 90s party. Again, I see the beautiful marketing at play, right? Now we're ingratiating the football team to throwing parties and actually having a connection to the actual students. I love it. I love it the way the team is doing. And then we got April 17th, the spring game. History in the making. It's a ring ceremony going to be following the game. There's a junior day prior to the game. Then you actually got the game itself. And guess what? We're going to be part of the pre-game experience. We're going to be doing interviews and fan engagement and bringing on coaches during the pregame. As Lionel just told you, it's going to be lit. Shout out to Isaiah, Section 107, PV 12. They're going to be tailgating. So it's going to be something for everybody. Also, we have a double header in softball that day. Women's softball play Alcorn. Talk to Coach Lane. If y'all know, I had Coach Lane on the show last week. Coach Lane pushed for a doubleheader. It was supposed to be one game on Friday, one game on Saturday. Now they push into the doubleheader on Friday before the game. So you got a full day of activities. I don't know what I'm going to do myself. I got TEDx that day. It's a brunch on campus that day. You got junior day on that day. Then you got tailgating on that day. You got a doubleheader on softball that day. We got a pregame show going on that day. And then we actually got it all capping off with the actual spring game in and of itself. Whew. We talking about a full day. And this is Friday. This is just Friday by itself. I don't know if I got enough energy. I'm going to have to get my rest on for that. It's full on week, y'all. Y'all could have swear it's like homecoming or something. This not even homecoming. This is spring week. So shout out to the football team. We're excited about a lot of things to come. No, we don't know. Anybody know if the band's going to be there? Hello? 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 I think I got a little effect on there. Is anybody there? There? Hello? 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 Is the marching storm there? There? I don't know. I don't know if the marching storm is going to be there. Somebody send out the smoke signal. Somebody call up the weatherman for Category 5 so we can see if the band is going to be there or not. So, shout out to the band. Shout out to PV. What else we got going? Oh. I showed the lineup of events. But we talk about the game. I got a little behind the scenes for y'all on what took place, because different teams, everybody does different things when it comes to their intramural game that they do. For the purple and gold game, coach said he would evenly divide the seniors between the purple and the gold team, but then they will host a draft. They will host a draft for each prospective player in between those teams. So they held a draft. So I'm gonna pull that up. We got some video. We got some behind the scene video from that. Hold on, let me minimize that. That's too big. Let me minimize that and show y'all that. Give y'all, again, it's so much going on at PV. I'm gonna help y'all keep up. So here's the draft video. We got some more. Coach Early. I'm loving the Finish the Fight shirts. I gotta get one of them shirts. Hold up. Who was that? Who was that in the background? Hold up. Did I see somebody? Hold on. And there. Oh, I'm gonna leave that to myself. I'm gonna keep that to myself. We got Zachary, number 12. We got big things to come. Big things coming. Stop sharing that. So shout out to the PV draft process. Shout out to the PV draft process. Oh, I still got that. Is anybody band gonna be there? Smack Water. That's funny. Smack Water video is hilarious. Absolutely. Shout out to the band. We'll find out. We'll find out like everybody else. Hopefully they'll be there. If not, we still gonna do what we gonna do. We gonna have a speaker. We gonna still do our thing. We not worried about if the band's gonna be there or not. We also got some other news pursuant to the spring game. Also, they have an incentive for the first 50 seniors. They're not talking about senior citizens, but seniors as in school level seniors that attend the game. I thought that's pretty cool. The amount of things that they have going on, damn, when I tell you, it's just so amazing. I'm so proud. Yeah, that's it right there. All the late nights, the hard work, the growth, you made it. We're so proud of everything you've accomplished and everything you're becoming. To celebrate you, we're giving back at the spring game this Friday with the senior giveaway. First 50 seniors receive a free commemorative cup and hot dog and drink at the spring game on April 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. This is just a small token to say thank you for the impact you've made. Shout out to the football team. Giving out hot dogs and commemorative cups. I'm going to see if I can steal one of them cups. I love a good PV memorabilia. So shout out to that. Like I told y'all want to be in the building for the spring game. I'm here to tell y'all want to be in the building. I know I'm going to be there. What else we got in PV news? Whoo! Now this is something we've been talking about a lot. We've been talking about a lot in the off season. I think this has probably been the number one request for PV fans. And that's the new turf and new weight room renovation. Man, we building. We constantly building. Most people have seen it. We got the renderings, as you can see, the architectural drawings. This is going to be happening right after the spring game. Construction is going to start. And I could have took the image, but I wanted to put Coach's post. Coach's post. Brand new turf coming at the Panther Stadium. Can't wait to see these trucks roll in after the spring game. FTF. Finish the fight. I love it. I know people think this is very simple, but I'm happy. I like simplicity. There's a beauty in art in simplicity, and I like the fact that we had a logo now, the PV A&M logo in the middle of the field. I also like the two-tone grass for every 5 yards. Also, I like that. I like that also. I think that's that's gonna be pretty clean. So I know it looks very simple here, but I think it's gonna be very strong and very impactful. This new turf that we have. I think I think we have a high, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have a high school game that's gonna be played. They'll actually be playing on the turf before we actually play on the turf. We have a high school game that will be playing on that turf. So that's gonna be a good one. Right after the spring game, they're gonna start construction on it. And I will say this, it's so many things I noticed, but I keep a lot of stuff to myself. That's why I did the brass monkey on the guy. Right. It was nothing more to drive me crazy in games or even in practice, and a player dive or roll on the ground, he come back and it's like green all over his back or down his arm and leg. I'm like, man, that turf is getting bad. Man, it's time to replace the turf. I would never say anything, but he's stuff that I noticed, little stuff like that. And he want to talk about pressure washing the actual ground. How do we get to stadium? Anyway, I'm gonna let him make it. I'm gonna stop belaboring that point. Man, Mr. Campbell's gone. I wish he could have came on because this segment was the last photo that we were gonna address in this week's artwork, right? We talked about Southern earlier. We brought up FAMU. I'm sorry, we brought up JSU. We brought up Alabama State. And then now we have FAMU, right? We went from the week schedule to the, whoa, it ain't my fault. It ain't Marshall's fault. And then, ain't nobody. And now most people know this, that FAMU is ineligible based on their APR rankings for any postseason play. And oh, my bad. I hit the wrong button. And they also have limited. Oh, man. I know it's old news, Mr. Campbell. I said that at the top of the set. It is so much information that's moving so fast in this SWAC world that even 2 and 3 and 4 days, a weekly show, you still got old news in the cycle. But we still got to talk about it. Now, I will say this. If you want a good, thorough breakdown on why FAMU failed the APR, go check out Mr. Campbell's podcast. I think it's Sipping on Sundays. It's on a platform that I will name nameless. But if you do a Sipping on Sundays, it'll come up. And I guess if you put SWAC and Sipping on Sundays, it'll probably come up. But he did a thorough breakdown on that. He even did a whole performa on what are some things they need to correct. So it wasn't just, oh, what we did wrong. Remember, I said this, be solution-based. This is why I can't be mad at him. He was solution-based. See, if Mr. Campbell had stayed in Jackson and went to J Stank, he would not be solution-based. He would have been doing that whole show through delusion. He would have done that whole show without offering any solutions. I don't even think he would have had the ability to even do a PowerPoint presentation. I don't think he would have even been able to even put together, that thorough presentation that he did. So shout out to that FAMU education that he got. But if you want to see a good breakdown of that, go over to his platform. I didn't bring this up to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the beautiful pivot that they was able to make. Because this is a fan show. I don't want to get into APR and the ugly business. I don't like this for the SWAC. A black guy on one school is a black guy on all of us. We talk noise, but it's still family. I don't like when HBCUs look bad. We all do our part to represent the entire family. Now, do we still rib and talk noise within the family? But on the outside, I don't like the optics of this. So I didn't come in here to throw gas on the fire of what we already know was taking place with FAMU. Merely just giving context, because we got a lot of people that come on this show that's not on social media and that's not, aware of a lot of the things. So yeah, sure. Limited practice, and they are suspended from any post play. Now, shout out to FAMU, right? Because they quickly pivoted and rewrote their story, which I thought was interesting. And I followed this during the week, and I thought, did they hire Olivia Pope or something? Because they definitely started to spin real fast. And Mr. Gamble was one of those. All right. So I'm going to pull up one of his posts, right? He started to spin right there for him. Coach Gray is setting a championship standard. He is not crying about the cards he is dealt. He's going to play his hand and make it stronger on the next play. Hashtag restoring the strike. Also means in the classroom. We are all in. Now, okay, Coach Gray right here, he's replying to Coach Gray or retweeting Coach Gray's post. We have one job, turn disappointment into determination. Be intentional about being determined to change the narrative and not allow others' perception to become your permanent reality. There's a reason that God has placed us here at this moment, at the university with this. So cool. They're reshaping their narrative and rechanging, a lot of the negative criticism that everybody's saying online. So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. But then they got hit. They got hit with more news right after that, right? And what did they get hit with that was right after that? Y'all know? The loophole. Uh-oh. I'm just informing y'all. I'm just giving y'all the news, right? The loophole, that's what came next. And so FAMU Academic Band has created a transfer loophole that allows other programs to recruit its players. Uh-oh. While the transfer portal is closed, other schools can now recruit FAMU players because of the sanctions. Expect a lot of Rattlers to leave the program. Uh-oh. So, they had Olivia Pope, responding to the APR, level 2 violation that they got. And they quickly, came out with the new press story. They got Mr. Campbell on that fast, and school got it on foul athletics. Coach Gray got on it fast. Then we got hit with the news that you can even poach and talk to their players. So now they're getting nervous. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with this? How do we deal with this problem? Well, good thing for FAMU, right? Good thing for FAMU is what? It's limits to the loophole. Why FAMU will likely won't see portal exodus after the NCAA ban. So, again, as haters were able to feel like they were able to pounce. We ain't even thinking about nobody at FAMU. We ain't thinking about nobody at FAMU. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Campbell. I was about to get to it. It says it in here. Because of the ban, other schools can in fact contact Rattler players, even though the NCAA transfer portal closed for the entry on January 16th. That was nearly 3 months before the April 10th, when FAMU was hit with the level 2 sanctions that I talked about earlier, including a postseason ban and practice restrictions. But turning those conversations into conversions for rival teams could come with a heavy cost, as NCAA guidelines are not as black and white as we thought. FAMU received further clarification on Tuesday, April 14th, my birthday, best day on the planet, Aries season. Yes, schools and opposing coaches can contact all current Rattler football student athletes if the recruiting program notifies FAMU. So you got to notify them. But that doesn't guarantee a transfer move, at least without a harsh penalty if they poach certain players from the Rattlers. Now, here it is. Only seniors or graduate students with 1 year of eligibility remaining can enter the transfer portal despite the expired deadline. There you go. So it's heavy penalties, heavy restrictions. You got to contact the school. And not only that, this is limited to only seniors and graduate students. So this is much of a nothing burger, if you want to be honest with you. More than likely, most of these students are going to stay. Yep. Oh, you see it right there in the comment. Yeah, that's right. So much of a nothing burger. He almost said it verbatim as I said it. So there's not much here, right? Not much here to see. I just wanted to break down the art because there was a lot of confusion. A lot of people were informed on different places in that story, and I just wanted to string it all together so people can get the full story of what was taking place in a quick and succinct way. Rest in peace, Rattlers 2026 season, though. You know, we'll see y'all on the other side. Now, what else we got? I'm getting near the end, y'all. So y'all stick with me. Y'all stick with me. Grambling unveiled new uniforms for the softball team. Grambling, they unveiled some new uniforms. Do I have photos of them? Do we really care about Grambling? Do we really care about what they doing? Because, you know, I'll be honest with you. Right after they announced these new uniforms, they got spanked and they got swept by PV softball the very next day. What a horrible way to announce new uniforms. Then to get swept in them the very next day to PV. If everybody knows and remembers, it was what was it, 9-5? One of the scores. I don't even move this around. It was 9-5, 15-5, and 15-2. So we had run rules on Grambling. But hey, wonderful uniforms though. Wonderful uniforms. But we had to break them uniforms in for y'all. What else we got? I'm gonna end on a positive note. Is it really a positive note? Is it really a positive note? It's definitely a fun one. You know, I'll leave it to subjectivity on if you think it's positive or not. Man, my computer is freezing up. Oh man, we gotta shut some things down. Hold on. All right. Now we got more in the football five by. Hold on. Let me pause that real quick. Jeez, my computer's running slow now. Let me add this link in here, and we're gonna end it on this because my computer's acting up. There we go. Foot five ball. J-State once again with the antics. What's going on with their football team? Oh, there we go.
That's a hole. Bring that shit back. We're on the touchdown.
Now this is J-State football team.
That's a shit. See, that's a flag. Go on that shit. Hey, we want a touchdown.
I guess with DC Young Fly, they had their spring week.
Bring that shit back. That's a
Foot five ball. That's what we got going on at J-State. Y'all might need to hit that field and get some work done. Hold on, I got another one for y'all. That's another one from another view. So the football team got a stroke? Yes. The football team is out there strolling. Y'all need to be in the weight room. Y'all need to be studying the playbooks. But you got the team out here creating a non-Greek organization, stepping and strutting, calling themselves Foot Five Ball. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, Jay Stank. I don't know what's going on over there. Now I'm gonna open up the lines real quick. If y'all got something, anybody got something they want to say, based on what we heard, y'all welcome to come in. I'm gonna leave it open for a little bit. I'll just put the link in the chat for y'all. Anybody want to call in, y'all welcome to call in. But it's crazy over there. The SWAC seem like it's all over the place. As Lionel said, y'all like, subscribe, get the alerts. PV versus everybody. A lot of content coming off this platform. Not just mine. I'm here on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. every Wednesday. Productive people. We're here to have a good time as alumni and break it down from a fan perspective. I should be up on all of the actual shows. I know Lionel has a show with Coach Northern. I also know Isaiah has a show. And so you're going to get a lot of good content from, coaching perspective, X's and O's, the analytical perspective, that, Section 107 and Isaiah and his group has. Speaking of which, what's up, Isaiah? What's up? Section 107 in the building. What's up?
Good? What's good, bro? You doing all right?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's spring football week, man. I'm hyped. I'm getting a little taste of football.
Man, I'm hyped too. I told all my clients on Friday, like, I'm not, like, basically don't call me unless it's urgent, because I'm gonna be on the hill. I plan to be there no later than like 11 in the morning, and I'll probably leave at night. So it's gonna be cool. Should have a good time out there, going to the softball game, doing a little tailgating.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
But I want to call just real quick, because I know the show's run long. So I know you didn't go all into it. What are your thoughts about Coach and the staff getting a 35% increase on his salary, their salaries, as well as an increased rev share commitment from the university as it pertains to NIL?
I saw that, man. That dropped today, and I had all my notes together, and I said, I don't want to rush through this. I want to sit through it, read it, go through all the nuances. That came hot off the press on Wednesday. What's up, Mr. Campbell? We got Mr. Campbell in the back. I just added him in.
Okay, cool. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, man, listen, I'm gonna let y'all, because I did not know this. So I'm gonna shut up and listen to this, because this is big news right here. So let me go ahead. Say it.
Oh, you ain't know this one?
No, I didn't. This
yes. So let me tell you what happened, and then Sid, you can take it from there. So essentially,
you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay, perfect. So we
can.
Today they've been in negotiations. AD Golf and leadership have been negotiations with Coach Jackson as far as amending his contract to extend them. Obviously, naturally, that's precedent. He's hit a lot of benchmarks, etc. And so what came out of it was he received a 35% increase on his salary, right? I'm sure they probably, and they didn't put this in the article, but I'm sure there's probably some increase in the incentives as well. And obviously a big thing that I'm pushing for is like a strong buyout clause, right? Because we know that at some point in time, someone's gonna, they've already tried to poach our coach. But also he got the staff a 35% increase as well in their salaries. And then they have an increased, I don't know the number, but they got an increased rev share from commitment from the university as it pertains to NIL. So this is not fundraised NIL dollars. That's in addition to, whatever we're doing. So everything, all the proceeds from the golf tournament, individual contributions, Panther, athletic fund, all those other different, sources. This is saying the university saying, hey, this is X amount of dollars we're putting into the budget that you can use specifically for NIL at your discretion. And so that's big because, and this is the last point of my ramble, one of the things that the staff and, me talking with those guys and talking with coach, et cetera, if you look at someone like a Tarleton State, and I know we've said it several times on several shows, a big thing that they've done is I think the number is $1.9 million of their athletic budget is rev sharing for NIL for their athletes. And so that's what we're competing with when you're talking about wanting to be nationally recognized FCS program that can compete with any school, whether they have an HBCU designation or not. So are we going to do 1.9 million out the gate? Absolutely not. But in our situation at PV, can we do some things to really, vault our efforts? Absolutely. So that's kind of what's happened. And then I'll let y'all take it from there.
No, you said it. You said it best, man. I pulled the article up. I don't know if y'all can still see while y'all on a stream or not, but you kind of said it verbatim. Pursuant to the report from Chris Hummer of 24/7 Sports CBS, head coach Tremaine Jackson contract has been amended, resulting in a 35% salary increase for Jackson and his assistant coaches pool. The university has also committed to an increased revenue share for the football program. In his first season as head coach, Jackson led Prairie View. We know all of those stats and everything, but I think you did a good job, Isaiah, breaking down the idiosyncrasies of how that actual deal has come to place. Right. And shout out to 80 Golf and shout out to the program to recognizing, hey, we need to go ahead and pivot. Not only do we need to incentivize and shore up our coach, but we need to shore up our program, shore up how we look at NIL and look at growth. And we just put ourselves in a better strengthened position. And I think that's important. And as everybody else is crying about everything else in the SWAC, we're just going about doing our business and handling our business the way it needs to be handled. And he's doing everything he said he was going to do, setting up PV to be a premier FCS program, not just a black college football program, but an FCS program.
And one other, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just two other quick points. So one thing is I'm pretty confident this makes him the highest paid Prairie View football coach in our history. And 100 plus, sure. 100 some years playing football, but also, I mean, this is a new thing for Prairie View overall. I think when you talk about our overall university level commitment to football specifically, I can't really say that, post getting the infrastructure like the stadium and kind of raising all the money we did and doing all of that, I can't really point to a time where we've said, hey, we're going to put some strong dollars and actually use what we have and access to behind this one sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be aligned from president down. I think that's the big thing is we have that alignment. He's talked about that for, a big reason why he took the job. And it's a unique thing and we're just happy to, be able to try to, embark on a new frontier. But I want to get Mr. Campbell's thoughts. I know he's on the live too. I just wanted to.
Yeah, what's up? What's your thoughts, Mr. Campbell?
Well, okay, I'm gonna be super serious, man. That is huge because so now I can speak. This is what I think I know. So let me say this. So that guy means you guys from Jack State already had this. FAMU starts their rev share next year. I know Alabama State was talking about that they're doing that. I know Alabama A&M talk, but as of right now, like I said, I could be totally wrong, so I'm not saying no quote me. I can find out, but that means 3 or only 4 schools have a definite rev share program in place. That's a big deal, and I'm gonna tell you why that's a big deal. Because if you got a kid, there are gonna be some kids that's just gonna be Power 5 Power 4 worthy, right? They're gonna go, but that mid-level kid that always jumps in the pool and he really needs to stay behind at that school. I mean, he's not going to leave Prairie View because it's really, I'm going to be honest, man, the money for a lot of these kids, it ain't like no $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. It's just enough for them to eat or, have a little money, what I'm saying, to kick it. Because you guys all, and like I said, man, I'm on a serious point, man, about, listen, man, I've always said this. If you get to our campuses, you don't want to leave our campuses.
Yep.
You don't. I mean, if I'm down at Prairie View and I got a little money in my pocket, I want to go to, Sam Houston or some directional Arkansas State, you know what I'm saying? No. So, man, I think that's a big deal. And again, man, I've always said this, man, the Sleeping John is awakening. And I'll tell you this. So now if you're Texas Southern, if you're Alcorn, if you're Grambling, you know what I mean? You can't just rest on your laurels anymore.
Yeah.
You can't say, and I guess that's why I was really calling to tease you about people saying, oh, it's just PV. We should just beat them because that's been ingrained. But if y'all making moves like that, that's a big deal, man. You know what I'm saying?
So Mr. Campbell, so I affectionately call you Unc, right? And I genuinely mean that, right? No, I know we haven't actually had a formal conversation, but I have a lot of respect for you, what you believe in, like your SWAC background. We can talk offline. I got a whole story myself, but I will say this. What's interesting about PV, and I had a very long conversation with Lionel about this many times, and said we've talked a lot too, right? We've had capacity to do these type of things 10 years ago, right? At PV specifically. The problem has been we've kind of hindered ourselves by having instability in leadership, by having so Coach Jack has done a phenomenal job, right? But a lot of things that he's done in short order are things that we could have been doing that we just didn't do. I'll give you a point of case example. He has the largest staff that Prairie View has ever had in football, right? People don't understand. We have a 20-something person on staff, but we also have 20-something other student workers who they're trained. I'm kind of giving a little sauce out, but they're trained to go through all this film to process. So by the time a recruit is their tape is getting to Coach Jack, it's been seen by quantities of people. It's been reviewed. It meets a chart. Like there's a whole system behind it, right? And so, we went from I can't. I'm even saying this. Having budgeted positions just not filled just because on the football staff.
Yep.
Or high school coaches that are literally in drivable distance for years saying we have not seen PV since Willie Simmons was here.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've kind of held back, in my opinion. This is just my Isaiah Wilson's opinion. We've held ourselves back in a lot of areas where to me, it's resulted in us making the championship, but not being prepared to actually win a championship. And that's what a lot of PV supporters have been saying. And we're a very results-driven fan base. So as you see more and more people kind of, peek their head out, and we kind of develop out this fan thing and figure it out, I think that's a big part of it. There's just been a huge mistrust and a huge we'll have some things right, and then we'll just be lackluster or non-existent in other areas. And you have to have a complete thing in order to win a championship. That's period, point blank. So that's my little ramble on that.
No, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I can't give you the last word, but I wanna give you some space. So what else do you have on your mind, Mr. Campbell? I took it easy on FAMU today. I didn't have no smoke.
Listen, man. Listen, we already broke it down, man. Listen, we don't mind, but listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Said you about like my, I had a number list, and I know a lot. And Lionel's my guy. That's my guy. Coach Jack, AD Golf, Smith. I say, one of my girlfriend's mama class of 1959 Prairie. I said, what Sed is moving? Sed is like my 12th favorite Prairie Person. That's pretty good.
12th favorite.
Yeah, you wasn't on the list. But I said, I said, but you on the list. And I said, man, this Sed is all right. But I'm saying this, man, because I think it's so important. And I give you guys credit because I think you guys said it best. You let other people define the narrative. It was all these things. But, man, just the fact that you guys are getting together, doing your own podcast, telling your own stories. man, that's important because I just speak at FAMU, man, together. It ain't no secret, man. People don't like FAMU, especially certain Jack State folks. And as soon as that thing came out with APR, they did 9 different shows and all of them were wrong. That's the only reason why I did that show, because everything is wrong. It's about the narrative. You see what I'm saying? Oh, y'all kicked OBG out and blah, blah, blah. That ain't got nothing to do, bro. APR been bad for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to make a narrative that we did somebody wrong, and that's why we getting, karma. We getting done wrong. No, bro, that go back 20 years. So I just want to give you guys a lot of credit. And you said, again, I like what you're doing. I love what Lon and them are doing. And man, I'm gonna tell you this. See, this is what's going on. Man, y'all need to call y'all alumni homeboy. This needs to be on SWAC TV. SEC Network doesn't have just sports. They have people talking about the SEC. This is another way that they should be empowering all you guys. And like I said, I know you right around them, but you're still younger than me, and especially Lionel on those guys and everything. This needs to be on SWAC TV. Because what's on SWAC TV right now? Nothing. I mean, other than the spring sport, but I'm just saying, but for 25, you could be playing this at 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true.
In the morning. Because then you can be building a community. So, man, I just want to just give you guys your kudos, man. And I'm going to say one thing about what you guys did. The best thing what I like is now you're building a foundation where it's a foundation of expectations. Because I think we tease with you all because now, again, I know what you guys have done very well in the West recently, but now you guys are getting to the FAMUs, to the Jack States, to the Grams, to the stuff where we get mad because we ain't winning. You see what I'm saying? The standard is the standard. Now you guys are you're laying that foundation. Now, of course, that comes with consistency, right? Again, what you have a level, and what I mean by the consistency, you guys have been good. Now, can it be like, again, with FAMU, Jack State we was winning 9, 10 games. And all game we would lose to Jack State or vice versa. You know what I mean? Or going back when we went to MEAC running things compared to South Carolina State when they were running things. So what I see is this is just good for the SWAC because you guys are the only last charter member that came in and stuff like that. It's very important. And again, for Texas, we need Prairie View to be good because that helps recruiting. Because again, you got a lot of kids that what happens? LSU does it all the time. Come to LSU so you can play Alabama, right? And beat them. That happens all the time. But they go in there and vice versa. So, man, I just want to, shout out to you, man. Shout out what y'all doing. But
I appreciate you, Mr. Campbell.
No,
I appreciate you.
And man, I said, I see that you went on YouTube and you learn how to get your background together and everything, man. Because I just cut your background on and just let it play, man. Just I was wondering why my stress level was going up because usually it's like down. So I don't know, man. Maybe because I heard about that APR and I got nervous that you were gonna say something wrong, but you didn't shoot us bad. You told the truth.
Nah, I just wanted to just paint the picture for PV folks to know what's going on because I don't want them to have misinformation. But it wasn't even about trying to dance on y'all grave or anything like that. I want to see FAMU. I want to see competition around the entire SWAC. It doesn't do any justice or good for the SWAC when we only have like 1 perennial or 2 perennial.
Well, let me ask you a question before I go. You guys had some AP in every school because I'm talking to you, so I won't be clear. I've asked when you guys had your AP. What do you think you guys did to fix it?
Just getting the right staff and people in place a lot of I think what happened to y'all was just so much turnover, athletic directors, coaching, president. So when you don't have anybody at the helm to actually direct the ship and right the ship, then, the inmates just kind of run wild. They run the asylum. So I think that, that was just the biggest thing, having to be somebody's job to make sure the compliance and issues that exist don't exist. And you can actually right this specific wrong. And I think that's what really, turned it around for us. And you actually had some good ideas. You put a board together, put some names together, and put together some actual, some tangible solutions. So I think y'all will be all right. I think, it's just unfortunate that it happened now as you had already kind of put in a process to righten the ship. But this still was kind of lingering from, your predecessors.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what's the scary part. You got to remember, it's 2 years of reporting ain't even out there yet. So, and that's for a lot of people. So, man, we'll see, man. But listen, I know it's late, man. I want to tell you, man. And shout out to my man Isaiah. I didn't even know that was Isaiah. Shout out to my man. Love that brother and everything.
Yeah, that was Isaiah. We got Lionel in the background too. He in the background. He just on mute.
Yeah. So, man, just love what y'all doing, man. But I must tell you this, bro. It's hard being up there at the top. So I tell you, boy, everybody gonna be taking them shots, including us. So like I say, anytime y'all lose, everybody gonna celebrate. But that's when you know you made it, baby. In the great words of Prime. When you lose and everybody
ready,
wins,
Mr. Camp. We ready. It's
that's a good feeling.
It's no doubt in my mind that we are the best team in the SWAC right now.
Okay, wait. One last thing. Okay, one last thing. Now, man. Okay. Now, like I said, you've been around SWAC. I'm just gonna not respect Andrew Body like me. You know, I'm about to come back next week and you can give me a segment. I might have to.
John, let's do it.
Man, okay. Usually in the SWAC, the team that has the best quarterback is the front runner. They got the play. Y'all just gonna disrespect the player of the year like that, man. And them boys put up 30 on y'all when they played y'all. And y'all just think they just not gonna be able to put up points. And Tony Hall might be a better offensive coordinator for the offense that Andrew needs to run. I mean, so explain that to me. How do y'all just disrespect the play?
Defense wins championships. People don't really pay attention to how good Prairie View's defense is. And our defense got better. And some of our greatest defensive components, our cornerbacks, are returning this season.
But the man's going to come back bigger and stronger as a SWAC player of the year. So that don't mean anything, y'all.
Not against PV. If you watch that game, PV was dominating Andrew Body. The amount of physicality and our ability to get at Andrew Body, like I told you, first series of the game, we hit Andrew Body and he came up off that ball and we scored and on first possession. So like we have Andrew Body's number. Defense is always going to neutralize Andrew Body. You get him locked inside the box, and once he start trying to scramble outside the box, then you're in the teeth of the 212 defense. That's what we want you to do. Once you get outside of the box, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. And Alabama State don't even have no running game.
They keep running backs though.
They keep running backs. But not anybody that's gonna pose no threat.
So you don't think the SWAC player of the year, one of the most explosive players we've seen in the SWAC, because y'all played them at Alabama State, right?
We played them in Alabama State, yeah.
Yeah. And man, I have never, and I'm gonna say, I've never seen usually it's very rare when a SWAC player of the year even comes back. But man, there's a lot of y'all boy doing a lot of talking, boy.
Man, because we know.
And y'all don't know. Well, maybe y'all do know. Y'all know. I'm talking about us regular folks don't know who y'all quarterback even gonna be.
We know a lot of stuff that y'all don't know. The amount of talent on this team is twice as good as the talent from last season. Last season wasn't even all that when it came to talent. We won last year, keeping it a buck. Great coaching and preparedness, right? Yeah, and no slight to the talent because we had good talent. This season, we got depth at the receiver position. We got depth at the defensive back position. Linebacker core is strong. Our whole offensive line is returning. Yeah. I think maybe, and Lionel could correct me if I'm wrong, maybe one, but our offensive line is returning. This is going to
whole offensive line. Yeah, all SWAC, offensive line. Realize when you look at the ratings of the offensive line last year, I mean, Prairie View, obviously, which tells in the running game and also just the offensive performance, especially toward the end of the year, was very high for every offensive lineman that we had. So we got all of them back, and obviously we added competition in that room to obviously push those guys too. So we just talk about the returners, right? I think that's something that people aren't giving PV credit for in general. I know everybody always is going to ask about quarterback. That's just what it is, right? Even though we got a returner there. And really the room this year, starting off in the spring, is even in a better position than the room was last year starting off the spring. When you look at the guys that's in that room, and the actual quality snaps that 1 through 3 has, right, in that room, in the quarterback room. But you talk about, tight ends. You got a whole tight end unit coming back, 1, 2, 3, and the tight ends last year, I think, a total of like 30 plus catches, 600 plus yards, and about 8 touchdowns between those 3 guys, right? You know what I'm saying? That whole unit is back this year, right? Not to mention obviously what they did in the blocking in the run game and the pass protection game, right? When you talk about defensively, right, you have some of those seniors that have left out. But again, you know, he mentioned it. Talk about the DBs that are back. Talk about the linebackers who now have had a year under their belt and now they're coming back, right? You know, so there's multiple guys that's coming back at every level. And one big thing is the defensive line room. Last year, you know, talking to Coach, you know, they were really saying, man, we kind of, because we were so late in the recruiting cycle, we didn't really get the size and the length that we wanted. So that's why even in a game like South Carolina State game, and I know we hate to talk about the Celebration Bowl game, but you saw one of those 4th down plays where, you know, the star linebacker, right, you see him on the line, right, on that play because he's saying, hey, you know, he has the ability to just beat a guy sometimes, just beat him because he's just quicker than him, right? Get around a tackle. But really, he's not the size of a guy that a traditional edge rush type of guy, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we didn't have the size and the length last year, whereas now when you look this year, what we brought in and, you know, going to some of the practices, man, it's going to be, I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited it's Friday because one, it's going to be a real spring game. And we're going to really see guys go at each other because you got a full team with 100+ people. So we're going to see some of those guys on the edge as well, right, who have the opportunity to come in and be that guy, right, for us. So, you know, I think that's some of the things that people aren't noticing when we talk about PV.
No,
we got so many guys, you know, that are coming back with the talent that is added. And so, again, I understand why people give the nods to a body, right? But again, I don't think Alabama State has as much coming back in both rooms as PV has coming back in both rooms.
That's true. That is true. That's true.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. But really, I actually jumped on because I want to say I agree with Mr. Campbell what he said earlier. When you look across the SWAC and MEAC, you know, HBCUs, and it was so noticeable this year. I think I mentioned it when I talked to a couple guys. We was talking offline. There's so many guys who were on the team over the last few years who end up, you know, either moving on from Bubba or even when Coach Jack came in and he moved on for some guys. Them guys still on campus. It's just like, it is so amazing to me. I'm looking at it like, wow, it's a lot of these. I mean, dude, it's a lot of guys who used to be on the team. It's like, man, I'm surprised that guy ain't jumping the portal and just leave. But it's like, listen, I ain't just going to go anywhere. If I'm going to go play, it got to be at a certain spot because why would I just leave Prairie View or if you're in another SWAC school, why would I just leave ex-SWAC school, right? When I got all of this available to just go to random, you know what I'm saying, PWI, and I ain't getting no money, and I ain't guaranteed no plant. Nah, bruh. I'd rather stay here at PV and enjoy Springfest and graduate on time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, when he said that, I'm like, bro, that is so factual. Like, I literally just thought about that like a week ago, seeing all these dudes. So I'm like, wow, I'm surprised all these dudes still on campus and ain't trying to bounce somewhere else and play somewhere, man. So, but yeah, man, hey, we got a lot of time to talk about the football talk, man. We got so much shows coming on. So I'm gonna say some of my slander, you know what I'm saying, for the future. I don't want to give all my slander out right now for Alabama State. You know what I'm saying? I need to save something for the future. But man, I'm excited. And we getting into it now. You know what I'm saying? The season coming to an end. I think Mr. Campbell is starting to really realize that softball ain't gonna go his way. So that's why he went to the I think that's the reason. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, see, so say, listen, like I told Lionel's my guy. I talked to Lionel. And see, we had the same conversation when volleyball rolled around, right? Mr. Campbell, we #1 seed. I said, okay, we the defending champions. Hey,
see how he always bringing up old stuff? Always bringing up old stuff.
It just reminds me again that as we usually do, we sit right there on top in the East of softball. So y'all gonna have to come see us, bro. Y'all gonna have to come see us, and then I'm gonna have to give Sed the Brass Monkey Award because y'all gonna think y'all gonna beat us. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming here, give me the Brass Monkey Award. What even talking that slander, man?
Hey man, I need you to bring the crime report back. By the way, tell Scotty, call Scotty, tell him like I know you gone. I know Alabama A&M got you locked up right now, but listen, let Mr. Campbell do the crime report at least because we need the crime report.
Let me tell you. Okay, so let me tell you. So the whole thing, and Perry knows I tease with this. We used to do the crime report was supposed to be for Outspoken, right, on the Monday night show because it started with Kofi, right? When I don't know if y'all remember when we beat Southern and I came on and did that skit over at Scotty's house. After that, if you remember, it really wasn't on that because Perry does not like being teased. He does not like it. And after that, I called Scott, hey, man, I want to do the crime. Well, you know, Mr. Cal, I got to talk to Perry. And he never hit me back. So we just couldn't figure out where to put it at. So, you know, man, but, you know, it's new things going on. And, man, so, yeah, we might just have a show just for that, man. Or, you know, Lionel, maybe I just, you know, maybe Sed let me come on and do, you know what I'm saying? I can do the crime report off the Brass Monkey. You know what I'm saying? Sed might let me come on. We'll see what happens.
That's what's up. I ain't tripping.
We'll see what's happening. No, man, I appreciate y'all, man. And I'm going to say this as a one black, because you said something that was important about black men stand up, man. I'm really proud of what you guys are doing. I'm proud how you guys represent your school, man, because as you guys know, man, just so many negative images and stuff like that. And people talk about what they know about us, don't know. And even the people that's in this space don't know about us, which is pretty damning in itself. So, man, I love what y'all doing, man. Keep talking y'all talk, man, because like I say, either way, it's going to go one or two ways. It's going to go good for y'all. It's going to go bad. But either way, it's still good for everybody else, man. So I appreciate y'all.
Nah, that's what's up. You got any last words, Lionel? Lionel, you got any last words?
Nah, man, no last words. I'll see you guys Friday, man. Lock in with us.
Nah, no doubt. Everybody, we're going to see y'all Friday. We'll be on campus. We'll be streaming. We'll be tailgating. We'll be having a good time. But you know how ended always every week. Stay strong, stay true, but most of all, stay productive because PV produces productive people.
Do you remember when we first met? Well, I don't, but I remember how wet you get. But I won't disrespect you by dwelling on the physical aspect. Don't roll your eyes, cause we better than that shit. I'm talking about long life, being your boy's wife. A couple youngins running in the backyard. And my lord, you're still looking great, honey. And my God, you still could shake what make money. It's so vivid, can't you picture it? Yeah, well tell me, do you think this ring fits? Word, your love is like the ultimate herb. You got me foot to the ass and the rest of the curb. It's like nothing to do, only for you I kneel and forget the brick. Love is the house we're building, the picket fence with the swing on the tree with the words carved in it saying love is we.
There you are, close enough to touch but still too far, because you're not mine yet. Stimulated by the conversation, mere presence. Other women ask what relation, none of the essence. Oh, who's that? She's a C, but you come first, like the A before the B. When you're gone, I wilt like a willow. Lie there and smell the scent you left on my pillow. A strong mind with the body to match. I won't bite if you promise not to scratch. You keep it real, just like the truth. Closer than twins, standing in the phone booth. Inspirational, treasured like a gift. What's success without someone to share it with? I used to be a dog, now a cool cat chasing cheese. And I blame Eloise.
Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise on my mind. Eloise. Eloise on my mind. Eloise.
People everywhere wants to know her name. Her body is the essence and her claim to fame. She's got game, it ain't the same. She's got plenty, packing more good times that you might call a penny. Get you caught up with the thoughts of flying overseas, making all of the cheese, spending time with Eloise. I picture hitting from the back like the snare from the track. I got the knack to be the Mac lips I wanna smack. Candle wax down the spine all of the time. Prophylactic on my tool, let me take you to school. Lesson 1, you don't have to run. And lesson 2, listen to my crew. Passion increases with exchange of saliva. Keep it Fahrenheit and call me Muffdava. That be me, the K to the ING. My mode is excellent and my dream is Eloise.
A soft whisper. She asked me, do I have the guts to kiss her? But as I sit and wonder, is she real? I picture. So what comes after? Put on Anita's rapture. Her feelings I must capture. Her soft lips. I take them quick and put them in my pocket. Cause they're out of this world like Space Lee and his sprockets. Somebody pitch me quick, I think I'm dreaming. Damn, she got me fiending. Her skin is so soft, it reminds me of the smoothest piece of silk. She's so sweet, her breath smells like carnation milk.
So sweet. Carnation milk. Of all things, I'm your lady. Sweet baby.
Hey, what up, boo? Words out, I'm the diva that you speak about. I hear you smitten about my well-written repertoire. You's a superstar, but it's you that I shine for. We go together like jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. Player haters try to come between us, but never that. It is simply all of that. Rewind that. It is simply all of that. Hoes be jealous, so they fellas wanna frolic. Gems I spit can't be bought, sold or aborted. You look retarded, trying to go against the gift. Love is shared, the love is multiplied. Put your freaks aside, forget about your weak pride. Run away with me and let's do it on the wild side.
And the waves on my mind.